breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Make the switch to green soaps and personal products and green cleaning products for the sink and shower. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
And this is Ryan Wiggins. Welcome to Friday on the Annie Fry Show. You are probably as surprised as I was when I got a text this morning that a stomach bug has hit the Fry household. And so we're all hoping that by Monday, it's worked its way through everybody. I think about half of them have it right now. And they're expecting the other half to also have it soon.
Yep.
Well, not everybody.
Three of them have it. Three of them, in her words, three of them are waiting.
Yes, exactly.
Because with the stomach flu, if you know, that thing is viral and nasty and awful, and it spreads.
And so here we are. And I had a great, I found out this morning, hey, can you host? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. So I started putting together some materials. Some of it I had prepared already for my weekend show. So I was just going to transition that to here. And it was some of the best stuff I had. I was like, oh, yeah, let's do that today. And then, as usual, the San Francisco Police Department got right in my way. That is just a common theme. The San Francisco Police Department steps into my zone because I had what we were going to do is we were going to talk about all the school choice news that happened yesterday, big stuff, and it's all good. And we were going to talk about that. But then the Police Department of San Francisco releases the body cam footage and security footage of the Paul Pelosi attack. And of course, with all the rumors about everything that this was or was not, people are, finally we'll find something out. Well, in a sense, we have. So if you haven't seen this video, let me try to describe it to you. And as we're talking, if you're able to, you can pull it up on your phone and probably find it yourself and see it. But this is footage of the police officers walking up to the door and they're just talking to each other. They don't look like they're in a big rush. They're just walking up to the door, which was a little bit surprising to me based on what ended up happening because it looked like a pretty threatening situation and the call had to have already come in.
It was bizarre. The way, because it went from 0 to 1,000 really quickly.
Yeah. So the call that I'm assuming that Paul Pelosi made to the police, you would think by the way they were walking up to the door that it wasn't, that they weren't thinking this was a really, really threatening hostage situation or anything, because they kind of just casually walk up to the door. They knock, they don't force their way in. Apparently Paul Pelosi's standing right there with David DePapi, if that's how you pronounce his name. That's what we're going to say. And they open the door immediately. They knock. Paul Pelosi opens the door. Now, the scene that you see play out then is pretty dramatic because they're standing there and Paul Pelosi, obviously older guy, he's wearing just a dress shirt and underwear. Mm-hmm. And he's holding the hammer that this David DePapi is also holding. So they're both holding it. David DePapi has more control over it. He's got it by where you want to hold a hammer. Pelosi's holding it kind of by the top and almost like here, just hold, just calm things down. So the police say, hello, everything. Oh, hey, put down the hammer. And David DePapi's going, yeah, everything's fine. And then they say, put down the hammer, I guess the fourth time. And he just turns. He
says, nope.
Yeah, nope. And then turns and it goes from 0 to 100. And he starts, wailing like you're trying to destroy somebody's skull with
As
that
he was.
hammer as he was. And I mean, it is intense. And you're like, oh my gosh, they fall kind of out of frame. Maybe that's why they released this body cam, because there's a couple cops there, probably with different angles, where it falls a little bit out of frame where you can't quite see the impact of the swing. So, but what you do see after that, if you watch the full video, and Fox News just has kind of a short one up if you're watching that right now as I'm talking about it, is you see them enter the house. They take David down, but there's already been some serious damage there to Paul Pelosi, and he is on the ground. It looks like he's not moving. I mean, it's bad. It's like if you were trying to kill somebody with a hammer, that's what you would do. So it wasn't like it wasn't like a calm thing, but it was weird. It's just weird to watch.
Yeah.
Because now what they're releasing right now, we're watching it right now, is this guy, it's snowing, I guess. Is it San Francisco?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's snowing
or bugs, maybe.
It's
it's
I don't think it's a swarm of bugs.
I don't know, but it's the outside footage of the security camera.
It says the police call audio has been released, so maybe we'll try to
get that if
we'll
we
gather
can.
that.
So this is all happening now. But he's breaking in. I mean, they show the guy breaking in. So a lot of the rumors that he was already inside, and then they, had a quarrel between them.
I think it's crazy that the attacker is not wearing a mask.
He's not. I mean, he looks like he's got to be out of his mind in some way.
That's the impression I got from watching.
Drugs or something is going on, because he's in his shorts in the outside video, and he's holding that hammer, and he's just smashing a window or a door handle or something and breaking into the house.
What is bugs?
Is it bugs? Was I right?
Or dust?
I mean, it's San Francisco, so I don't think it's probably snowing real heavy. But yeah, he's smashing his way into the house. That's pretty much all we know. So if you want to go see the video, you can for yourself. It's actually pretty dramatic, and it makes you wonder what this guy, he's got to be hopped up. Because now again, though, we don't know any context. Like, did they know each other ahead of time? Did this guy, was he trying to get in because he knew where to go because he'd been in there before? We don't know any of that. But what it does show is that a lot of the, at least some of the rumor stuff, you can probably put to rest. That he was already inside, because a lot of people were speculating on that.
There's a lot of speculation, weird speculation,
because it is such a weird story, and it really could be just that this crazy guy somehow got into the Pelosi compound, which is not easy to do based on the security and walls and stuff they have up. But that's why you still go out. Maybe there's a little bit more, but we don't really know. So that's how we're starting the show today, is with the Paul Pelosi video, and I'm sure that we here at 97.1 may already have that video up somewhere if you search for it. I know Trisha was working on that right as we were walking in the studio. So that's how we start. And we got 3 more hours of this. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about Paul Pelosi for the whole show today. We have Joe Machi, or Machi coming in just a minute. He's already here, and we're looking forward to that. He's a super funny guy. If you've seen him on Gutfeld, and he's in the upcoming Netflix series Bumping Mics. So he's very, very active, and he's here this weekend at the Funny Bone
in Westport. Yep.
And so we're going to have him in studio, and it's actually been kind of fun to do some of these interviews with some of these Gutfeld comedians. And I don't know if that's an appropriate way. I'll ask him. Can we call you a Gutfeld comedian? Do you want that label? Because I don't know if they are necessarily like, well, yeah, that's my entire life is Greg Gutfeld. But that's how we know a lot of these guys. And they're coming to St. Louis and selling shows out. I understand that his show's doing really well. So that's really cool. And we're happy to have guys like that come on. And we'll be happy to have Joe in here in just a minute. Brad Nation is taking over Wiggins America today. And that's going to be about millennials and Gen Z living at home.
Oh, boy.
And the topic I actually am looking forward to. And then pretty much a typical Friday show after that. We're going to do Ask Me Anything, Diamond in the Rough. And then X's and O's. I'm still going to try to host that, even though I'm hosting. And play that with Trisha and Drew from the morning show. And just go through a full show. So a lot of things to talk about today. The Paul Pelosi video just kind of hitting right as we're starting. Maybe I can get into a little bit of this school choice stuff because it's good news and I want to share it. So yesterday, sorry, this was earlier in the week, but yesterday is when like the news is really coming out because these things take a bit to work their way through. But the Republican-controlled Iowa legislature passed an expansive school choice proposal championed by the governor, Kim Reynolds, who's the leader of the Republican Governors Association and has fought for education freedom for years. The bill was signed on Tuesday, and this is very similar to Arizona's policy. Iowa's education savings account bill allows families to take their children's state-funded K through 12 education dollars, about $7,600 per student, to the education provider of their choosing. That is the basis of school choice, is that the state takes the money that's allocated to your student, or at least roughly thereof, and gives it directly to you as a voucher to spend wherever you want. That's school choice. And then that's in the first 2 years, most students are eligible. And by the third year of this plan, all families in Iowa become eligible. This same thing pretty much just happened in Utah. Now theirs is still waiting the signature, but at the same time as Iowa is passing it, so is Utah. They will join Arizona and West Virginia. And I think I'm leaving one other state, maybe Vermont, oddly, out of that conversation, that are doing school choice. And I am just super excited about this. I did a Wiggins America on it this week, that I think this is one of the number one issues that the GOP should be focusing on for a variety of reasons. Excuse me. One is that I think it's a winning issue, that it's hard. Brad, you made a great point about how do you even argue against school choice?
Yeah, well, like the question is, and I kind of forget where we were talking about when we were talking about this, but the question is, whenever you say, we want the money to follow the student, the argument is, well, if you like the main argument against school choices is this will actually defund public schools.
Yeah.
What these voucher programs do is basically attach the money to the student. Think of it as the money in the backpack with the student goes wherever the student goes. The student pays for the school that way.
Yep.
If your default is, well, the money's going to go away from the public schools, what you're essentially saying is that given the choice, if a parent is given the choice of where their child could go, they're not going to pick your public school.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Yes. Exactly.
What is the assumption? And to be honest with you, I don't believe that's the case in every case. I think there are some very good public schools out there, and I don't think the parents would choose to go private if they've got a very good public school or whatever. But the biggest argument you ever hear from anybody that is staunchly against school choice is this will defund public education. You're admitting that your public education system is inferior to the private education systems.
Yes. And it's such a good point. And when you said that, I'm like, my gosh, can't believe that we haven't thought about that and people aren't saying that, because it's very true.
Well, Corey DeAngelis says it all the time.
And that dude is a champion, man. I mean, he has picked this issue up and made it into an issue. And I'm so glad. I mean, this is one of those things I said, Arizona will be one of the first, and they're first that really went all in. I think the Vermont and the West Virginia, and it looks like probably Arkansas, which is I was talking about earlier this week with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, kind of championing that cause there. Because it does take the governor to do it. Like the governor has got to be the one that's pushing it, and the legislature, if it's Republican, usually will start to fall in line with these things. But I thought we were going to see these things take place over the next 10 years, because I thought, rationally, I would add, that we were going to see other states say, let's watch some of these other states and see how they do so that we avoid their pitfalls. So politically, we can be shielded from any of the problems that come from this. But that's not what's happening. States are jumping on board with this very, very quickly. And I've said before, there will be problems with this system. It's not that it's going to be flawless. It's that the current system we know is already flawed. So why wouldn't you want to try something like this? And it is such a big deal. And if I had time here, I was going to play a whole bunch of clips of some I mean, it's typical woke stuff, and maybe I will play it later, but it's really stuff that's being taught in public schools. And do you even know that your kids are being taught this stuff? Because some of it's covert videos, some of it's the teachers themselves making the videos, and others, in the case of this that I have, are basically the school itself making a very well put together video, but it's all about gender identity. And it's about teaching your kids, and we're talking young kids. We're talking kindergartners that in this video that they're teaching gender ideology to, and the questions break your heart because the kids are asking them and they've never thought about these things before. There's no reason for them to think about these things. But there they are asking, and this stuff is at the forefront right now. And Republican governors, especially, and legislatures are pushing back and saying, here is the solution. And this isn't me telling you that you can't do these things necessarily. Although in the case of Ron DeSantis, he is saying, no, we're not going to do these things.
Mhm.
But in the case of school choice, it really is saying, even if those things do exist, and we don't pass laws saying that you can't say that stuff, you can choose to go somewhere else now and take that money that is your money, essentially. I mean, it's not the government's money. It's your money just being reallocated and go wherever you want with it. And that's why school choice to me is one of the biggest issues of our time. And I'm so glad to see states passing this. So that's the good news I wanted to start the show with today. Of course, the Paul Pelosi video is out there if you want to go see it. There's probably a lot more than even you'll be able to find. We're watching on Fox News videos that I haven't seen them release yet. So this is all kind of trickling out as we talk about it. But we're going to take a break right now and talk to Joe Machi, who is already here. He's going to come in studio. We're going to spend at least a break with him just talking about the events of the day. I'm sure Paul Pelosi will come up. Hope he's ready for that. That'll be next here on the Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. If you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jules on Hampton your first stop. Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Download Upside and start getting cash back wherever you roll. It's like having your own hype man. Get an average of 17% cash back at restaurants.
Oh, it's dinner time.
Average of 13% on groceries.
Get those groceries.
10 cents per gallon average cash back on gas.
It's go time.
Plus, cash back at participating convenience stores too.
Stacks on stacks.
Users can earn hundreds of dollars a year, 3 times more than other apps.
Upside, show me that money.
All right, we get it. It's easy. Just sign up for the free Upside app and start getting cash back for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Get cash back for doing you with the free app from Upside.
Keep it here for the real news. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon, and Dana Lash on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Yeah, this is the Annie Fry Show, but this is Ryan Wiggins filling in for Annie Fry. She is a little under the weather, catching the stomach bug. It's going to go through her house, and we would prefer it stay at her house, not come into the studio. That would be fine with us. So we had scheduled Joe Machi to be here. And Joe, I got to ask you, I was going to say comedian, but I've been told not to say funny man because I saw that years ago on, I think it was maybe like Regis and Kathy Lee or something, that they introduced Kevin Nealon as a funny man. And he said, no, don't ever say funny man because that means I'm unemployed, which is apparently a huge slight. So what's the best way and worst way I can introduce you?
Funny man works fine.
Okay.
I think that's a compliment.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, not funny man. That means you're unemployed.
Yeah. Not funny guy. Joe Machi is in studio. So,
stern comedian Joe Machi.
Yeah. So a couple comments I wanted to read. Annie, who is normally here, says, tell Joe he needs to come back because I want to meet him. Huge bummer to miss it. Amy says, Joe, I'm so excited for this segment. And then Mark saying, well, you gotta get me some tickets. I can pay. I don't know why I'm responsible for getting him tickets, but people are very excited to see you here. Do most people, when they see it, do they know you from Gutfeld or is it from other places too?
Well, I think more probably know me from Last Comic Standing, but it's catching up. There's a lot of people who don't even know what Gutfeld is because it's on Fox News and just things are very fragmented these days. So they're like, what's the number one show in late night? And they still think Colbert, but no, he's a distant second.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised.
In the world of entertainment, is it like that you get into sort of orbits with people and so you're kind of in the Gutfeld like friend group now, but then that friend group isn't friends with the other friend groups? Is that how that works?
No, not really. At least in comedy, you kind of mix together because especially in New York City and LA, you do showcase shows, which basically there's two formats for stand-up. There's headliner, which is just host, feature, headliners, a 3-person show, about an hour and a half. But at a lot of the clubs in the cities, it's showcase shows where it's like 6 or 7 comics doing 10 to 15 minutes. So you're all mixed together with different people. So you kind of get to know people outside of your comfort zone that way. At least.
Is there a lot of, I wrote stand-up for a very short time when I was much younger and didn't stick with it for very long. But I noticed that when I was off of, and I would never be on stage, but I'd be like there to support the guy I was writing for.
Mm-hmm.
When I was off stage, there was a lot of competition off stage among all the comedians to sort of outdo each other. Does that exist, or is that just in my head because I was 19?
I think it does exist in some instances, but a lot of people, at least when I started, they got into comedy because they weren't good at socializing. So I always tell people, like, stand-up is the career that chooses you because you're a little bit of an oddball. And then in the last decade, it's really become cool. It's become a lifestyle that people say that they are, that do it once a month. It's almost like a badge of honor to do now. And that's why there's like cool, I guess myself being, there's like good looking, cool people doing it now. I mean, I was good looking before it was cool and stand up, but now it's like these people had friends. Like, what are they doing here?
Right. Yeah, it's true. Like when I was probably 20 years ago now writing, stand up was really a kind of a lull. And it's all the stand-up specials and everything that have come along in the last, 10 years or so that have made stand-up kind of cool again.
Yeah, I really think that Chris Rock was the torchbearer in the 90s, and then Louis picked it up in the mid 2000s, and then it kind of exploded from there. I mean, a lot of it has to do with tech, but I think a lot of it has to do with Louis and doing the new hour every year, and the internet kind of made it so comics couldn't coast off their hour for decades like they used to be able to. So it really made people reach for an extra gear that they didn't used to have to.
So you're kind of in that boat then. I mean, you've got to like constantly be churning new material.
If you do a bit on TV or a special, or you can't do it again.
Yeah.
Where you used to be, like, you see these clips of guys doing the same set on the Tonight Show as they did on Letterman, and you just can't get away with that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you a news guy? Are you a current events guy? Do you pull from life more?
I pull from current events and social commentary, but also life. I've got no rules. But the good thing about the news and social commentary is there's always something new to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really develop a lot of material in a short period of time, whereas like some comics do wild and crazy stuff all the time, and then they've got a new half hour because they ended up naked in a swamp somewhere, and I don't have any stories like that.
That's really
I'm pretty
unfortunate.
boring, you know. I mean, I don't like to talk about the time I beat up all those gang members.
Yeah, because that makes you intimidating and kind of like takes you
Yeah,
out
I
of
don't
the
like to
audience.
brag about how I saved all those people.
Right.
No, it's not-
I mean, they were close to the waterfall, and it was very heroic of you.
Mhm.
So I understand that kind of casts you in a light you don't want.
Yeah, and you know, it's not very becoming to brag.
Right, right. I understand that more than anybody. I never brag, as Brad can attest to.
All the time.
Since you do current events, I brought a couple things in that I was like, well, if Joe wants to talk about this, maybe we will. So let me pull up this news story here. This is the hard hitting stuff. This isn't the top of the show stuff. This is like now we're getting into it.
Oh, okay.
This is from the Huffington Post. Fart seems to erupt on The View, and question is, who or what dealt it? Have you heard of this yet?
I saw the article headline and I didn't click it because that was all the information I needed to know. Like, I don't even know why there was an article after that. There's like fart on The View. I'm like, that's now the best episode of The View. And the second best episode is Norm Macdonald over and over.
That one is
again.
I was gonna say that we talk about that. We were just talking about that yesterday. I think that was off air.
It just cracked me up. They kept wanting him to stop saying that the Clintons were murderers. And he just kept doing it.
And he just kept doing it knowing that you could see that twinkle in his eye that he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
And yet he would not stop. And he was acting like, oh, what am I doing something weird here?
I felt like they kept falling for it.
Yes.
Because he kept reeling it back a little bit and then going right. I'm like, you know he's going to do it again. And you just keep setting him up.
Well, as far that, I mean, obviously, since that's the second best episode, and we're really just riding on The View's coattails here. I'm going to play the audio for you.
Okay.
And see if there's a bit of a controversy here that I want you to, maybe Joe Machi can decide here live on the Annie Fry Show.
But is it true that Trump had nuclear secrets?
It's been reported, but we don't know the specifics. But just real quick, we had a little spillage on the other side of the table.
My pants. All right, forget it. Go ahead.
So, Joe, do you think that was real? Because
it was too perfect.
It sounded a little too perfect to me too.
That's like the fart of a cartoon movie scene fart.
Yeah.
It was too audible. And I don't know. I'm not buying. I bet that was like a chair move or something like that. That leather.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought either it was somebody moved around on the chair, or it sounded like somebody, they're talking about documents and they're going, blah, blah, and somebody going, pfft. It sounded almost like that.
Yeah.
But it's apparently this huge controversy. And so obviously I just wanted to get your take. And it sounds like we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was just an incidental sound. And I like that Joy Behar was having none of that nonsense.
Yeah.
She's like, look, we are a bunch of women who don't watch the news but talk about it. Let's get serious.
Quick Rick on YouTube commented whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
It sounded like that.
Yeah. And apparently, I've done my due diligence. Okay. I looked into this. Apparently, this isn't the first time a fart has ever come up on The View. Apparently, Whoopi has a history. So we don't know who did this. We don't know who dealt it. We don't know who smelt it. We just know that there was a sound and everybody acknowledged it. And that's where we're going to leave it. Kind of like the Paul Pelosi stuff. We don't really know what's going on. We just have the video now, and you can go see it for yourself, that it's just some crazy stuff going on. So, Joe, I asked you before you came in here if you were very familiar with St. Louis. It sounds like you've been here several times. You're from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you're a Midwest guy, though, right?
No, Pennsylvania's mid-Atlantic. Yeah, Midwest kind of starts in Ohio.
Okay.
So I don't consider myself that, but I consider myself a Midwestern person at heart. And I think that's why St. Louis loves me and I love them back.
What you can't
I'm not
see,
patronizing you guys.
What you can't see is the look on his face, because the tone of his voice hasn't really changed. But the look gives it away that you are totally just playing to the crowd.
When your voice is as deep as mine, you really can't even tell.
So do you do a lot of, we talked about how fast you need to sort of come up with new stuff. How fast do you like when you leave home and you come and you do a tour and you're traveling or whatever? How fast do you have to come up with stuff before people have already seen it?
I don't like to go back to a city and not have at least a half hour of new stuff. So I can write maybe a half hour to an hour of good stuff that will work repeatedly a year. So I was just in St. Charles, what was in early May, and now it's almost February. I feel like I have enough. Like if people came to that show, the St. Charles Funny Bone, and then came to the show this weekend at Westport, they're like, "Oh, he's got a lot of new stuff." I heard a few of the hits. I mean, sure. I mean, Journey's going to play "Don't Stop Believing," but you know, you want to hear some new stuff, or all you're going to want to hear is "Don't Stop Believing" because you become a nostalgia act, and that's bad in comedy. It's hard to laugh at jokes you've already heard a bunch of times again.
Right. Plus, you're going to play "Don't Stop Believing." It sounds like, so that's great.
I will be singing karaoke next door.
Sweet.
Most of the nights, if I have too many schlaflies.
So, can you tell us about this Netflix show, Bumping Mics?
Bumping Mics, yes. I opened the show for the taping. I don't know if a lot of people know how TV tapings usually work. Usually a warm-up act, and they had a warm-up act, but Dave Attell asked me if I wanted to do some stand-up between the warm-up act and the actual taping to get the crowd used to laughing at jokes and listening. And I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do it. And then, so I went up there. I had a great set. I really killed it. And then I did the second show. There were 2 tapings that night. I did the second show. I really killed it again. And this is in front of a lot of Netflix execs. And having a Netflix special at the time meant a lot. It really moved the needle for people. I don't think it's the case anymore so much, just unless they feature you on the front page for a lot because it's kind of saturated. But I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'll probably get offered you a special out of this. So I had a couple of beers, and then unbeknown to me, it tells like Machi, come up here. And so I didn't know I was going to be part of the taping, but I was back on stage, and you can see in my cheeks that I had a couple of beers, and I hung in there. Rosy? I got through it. I was pretty red faced because your adrenaline's going after you just.
Oh yeah.
You tell genius jokes like I do. It takes a lot of energy.
So when I was asking you about St. Louis, is this a place, you know, and this is, I mean, we're a Fox News affiliate. We talk about politics a lot. I mean, we actually, on this show, we do all kinds of stuff. We talk about whatever's going on. But
you got Brian Kilmeade on the station, friend of the show.
Right, yeah, he's right in front of us. So obviously we do have connections. We don't, necessarily, have we're not like we're a Fox News affiliate. So, that we do top of the hour news, but we kind of talk about whatever we want.
Right.
But we have a strong connection with Gutfeld. We talk to Tyrus all the time. And a lot of people who were on that show.
We had Joe DeVito on Monday.
Yeah.
Joe DeVito, my nemesis. He's great. He's a co-writer on the show with me. And oh man, that guy's got a million of them.
And that's actually where I was going, is that as a writer on Gutfeld, is it a chat? Like, what's the balance between joke and news? Because that has to be kind of a different style of show, right?
Thank goodness that's not up to me. They've got some regular news people that write these stories, and they try to write them funny, but then they send them over to Joe and I, and we try to put in punchlines.
Okay.
So I write jokes wherever I could possibly find them, and then Greg goes back in and he takes what he wants. So he's the final arbiter of the show. That's why it's named Gutfeld and not Machi and Gutfeld, like I originally suggested. But yeah, I that was a laugh line that didn't get anything. We all heard it. We all heard it, and I appreciate you guys.
You got to smile.
Well, we laugh out loud for the performers. I can't tell what's in your head. That wasn't a meltdown.
I was trying to tell everybody to not laugh at that, and I couldn't get them.
There was a secret signal we had.
Laugh. Laugh. It's this.
Yeah, he's doing the opposite. I'm going, no, like don't say anything. But no, let's talk about your shows this weekend, because I guess they're selling pretty well, I've heard.
Expectations are high.
Yeah, super high, especially after this. People are like, oh my gosh, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Greatest interview I ever heard in my life.
Where were you a minute ago?
You're at the Funny Bone at Westport. Tonight, right, is the first show, or was it last night?
Last night was the first show.
Last night was the first show. but then you're there tonight. No, I'm wrong. Tonight and Friday, or Friday and Saturday?
We got tonight, tomorrow, which is Saturday, and Sunday.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're loaded up.
4-night stand.
7:30 and 9:30, and then 7 o'clock on Sunday. So I think I've only heard that some of these shows are sold out and some are not.
Whenever I checked the website right before, the 7 p.m. Saturday show said it was sold out, but there's a waiting list. So if you want to really go to that show, jump on that waiting list. And if not, go to the 9:30 show. It's good.
And Brad's been, I think he's going to go. He loves your stuff. So no pressure, but Brad will be there just smiling at you in the front row.
In the front row, just staring.
I promise not to make fun of your shirt.
Oh, you can make fun of it if you want.
Or the dumbest shirt you've got. And just dare him. Just smile at him the whole time. Joe Machi, looking forward to continuing to talk to you. I'm sure Annie will love to have you back at some point too, so we can get you back in here next time you're in St. Louis.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for being here. And again, you can go to, I think, their website, the Funny Bones website, to get those tickets.
Yeah, stlfunnybone.com, and then you'll find the Westport location, and then Joe will be right there. You can buy the tickets right there online.
Joe Machi, the huge celebrity, is right here, but you can see him this weekend. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Humble.
And we'll be right back on the Annie Fry Show.
Well, don't waste time. Give me a sign. Tell me how you want to roll.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Speed it up for me, then take it down slow. There's enough room for both.
Well, I can handle that. You just gotta show me where it's at. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? If you want it,
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Don't forget about the environment when making New Year's resolutions. This year, resolve to recycle more. Recycle paper, bottles, and cans. Reuse paper and plastic bags, and get a reusable bag for groceries. Recycle old clothes by donating them to charity. And recycle old electronics like TVs, computers, and cell phones at appropriate e-waste facilities. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
What's up, everybody? Guess who's coming to your screens every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? No Mercy with yours truly, Stephen A. Smith, is now available on YouTube. For the first time in my career, I've got complete freedom to say my piece on everything beyond the world of sports, unfiltered, and now in video. Join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the very least for my take on the biggest headlines and conversations with the biggest names in entertainment. Subscribe now so you don't miss an episode. No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith, a presentation of Cadence 13 and Odyssey Studio. Full episodes available now on YouTube.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express Suite St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. And Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Celebrating 22 years as St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for being a part of it.
Cowboy. Cowboy.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So there's no lyrics to this song?
No, there is, but I couldn't play them.
Wait, no, I know that lyrics exist. I'm not saying, this is a song with no lyric. I'm saying you chose the lyricless version.
Yes.
Because it's
Because
filthy?
of FCC. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't have remembered that. I mean, when Kid Rock was big, I was like, Kid Rock. But now I hear Kid Rock, I'm like, oh, Kid Rock, okay. But I don't remember the song lyrics well enough to know that you couldn't play them.
Some of them are good. Most of them are bad.
The word cowboy is in that song. I know that.
Yep.
And that's about all I remember.
Cowboy is in that song.
So the YouTube poll of the day, YouTube live chat poll, if you want to go vote on it, was actually really confusing me because I was looking at Annie does this every day. I'm sitting in Annie's seat and I'm going, what is happening? I'm looking at the live chat, which I look at every day.
She just commented, yeah, it better be the instrumental.
Oh, great. So she's listening and commenting.
Oh, yeah. She's
Here
been watching the
comes
whole show.
Peanut gallery. Here we go.
Watch out, Wiggins.
But I'm looking at, the chat, looking at, things that if people are commenting about Joe Machi just to share during that interview. And people are going, oh, I voted for Ryan because he seems like he could lie well. And I'm like, what is this? Oh, you're talking about the YouTube poll. So the YouTube poll of the day is which show member do you think has the best poker face? Hannah, Brad, Annie, or Ryan? And yes, Annie is included in that poll, even though she is not here. She will know if she wins because she's participating in the live chat. If you have anything that you want to say to Annie about how great today's show is. But Joe Machi was great. I'm sure Annie's sad that she had to miss that. But my hope is that she'll be back on Monday. We all hope that as the stomach virus works its way through their family. And hopefully we don't get it here because we don't want it to work its way through the studio. So normally at this time, we have Wiggins America. So how are we going to play it? So this is Brad Nation. Do we normally then still play the Wiggins America sounder? Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Hannah's in control today. So
these, so when we do these, Ryan always gets great articles, just amazing stuff for us to use.
Great stuff.
But I found an article today. It says this woman names a baby after a ride and expresses sadness after it gets closed down.
Oh, you're doing that one?
Yes. I was going to do the millennials and Gen Z living at home.
Hey, we can transition to that.
But we may have to. Well, we'll see. But
I want to hear this, though, because I said don't tell me ahead of time. I knew the headline. That's all I knew.
So modern names, right?
Okay.
You see some weird names or some weird spellings of some common names.
We talk about this often. The LEIGHs.
Yeah.
Every modern baby name, at least within the last 15 years, has to end in DEN, right?
Like,
I think it's
Braden.
I think it's Lee.
For girls.
For girls, it is. Yeah. LEIGH, right? Not. Yeah.
You got to be careful when you talk about baby names, especially to new mothers. But
you got to be careful when you talk about names in general because somebody is named that. No doubt, even using the word Karen or Chad or whatever.
Yeah,
somebody is named Karen and somebody is named Chad, and they do not like when you use those names.
It would be better to be a Chad than a Karen.
I do too.
Hey,
sorry, Karen. We just said we wouldn't do that. All right, what's the story then?
So this lady went to TikTok and she expressed her dismay that Disney she had named her daughter after this ride, and that Disney had shut this ride down.
Splash Mountain.
Well, that's where the fun starts, right? How would you name your daughter after Splash Mountain? And so people in the comments and in the chat, they started jumping in there and coming up with different names.
I wouldn't want to name my daughter Mount.
No.
Especially your daughter.
So, this person replied, "I'm so sorry, zippity doo dah."
You know what? Zipporah is a biblical name, and
Zipporah.
Zippy is short for that. I can see that.
Yeah. Another one remarked, "Was it Splashton Mountain Lay?"
Lay. I knew.
There it is.
I knew the lay.
You didn't even know that. You said that.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. Spelled lay.
Did they ever reveal what the actual name was?
They did end up doing that. Another one that cracked me up was Spinning Teacup Lee, or Spinningly Teacup. There was Tell Mr. Toad I'm sorry, but this lady
baby names.
Yeah. Well, this is just comments, commenters just jumping on and piling on. But anyway, she ended up naming her daughter Briar. And
okay.
She's like now sad because Splash Mountain is no longer going to be Splash Mountain. The tale of Briar Rabbit and Briar Is it
Isn't
Briar?
it Brer? I think it's Brer. So the
Okay.
baby's name was Brer?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to say Briar, like Briar Patch.
Mm-hmm.
That really isn't associated with that ride or that movie. But Brer is.
That's not a terrible name.
Yeah, I think you could maybe kind of skate on that. I don't think that everybody's going to relate that back to Splash Mountain. But those who have ridden Splash Mountain probably will.
Yeah.
And then to admit that that's why you did it.
Yeah.
that kind of sucks.
And when it comes to naming, I wonder, like, how do people come up with names for kids? Because the only thing I've ever had to name was a pet. And so when you're naming a pet, you're just kind of like, this.
Naming pets is the funnest part of having a pet.
Like we named our dog Poe, and he's named after the Kung Fu Panda. But I wouldn't name my child after a movie.
Everybody has their different reasonings for baby names, but I don't know. Some of them I feel like get made up just out of the blue. I don't know.
Those are the best ones.
Ryan, how did you pick your kids' names?
I haven't heard this story.
Really?
Yeah.
Sinjin is interesting because Sinjin is actually an old English form of Saint John. So, and if you didn't know that, that's where words like Sinclair was actually
Right.
Saint Clair. That's where that word came from. And so Sinjin, Saint John, is actually named after my wife's dad, whose name was John, who passed away just a couple years before we had our first babies. So we wanted to have both, we wanted to have family names in all of the names.
Mhm.
And then Sunny, we just kind of liked, just because it's cute and it's not a name that is very common, but it doesn't seem uncommon,
Yeah.
You don't have to pick like Sinjin is a weird name. There are very few Sinjins out there that are famous. Everybody says, well, I know of a volleyball player and a character on the Disney Channel on some random show that were named Sinjin. That's the only ones we ever hear. But with Sunny, everybody just kind of like latches on, and they fit their personalities really
Mhm.
well. I don't want to get into like too much like kid talk, but Sunny is very bubbly and just wants to socialize and be friends with everybody. And every time she comes home from school, all of the stuff in her backpack is all about notes and little clubs that she's making with her friends. And she's just an advocate for everyone. Whereas Sinjin is like salt to light. He's like, you have to understand the difference between right and wrong all the time. So I'm like, it's a pretty good pairing between twins,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we came up with those two. And then River, our littlest one, we're looking for a unique name that started with R, because my name starts with R, and it's kind of a family thing to have a first name that starts with R. So we landed on River. That's
Cool.
it.
What did your parents ever tell you guys what your name was supposed to be?
Yes.
What was your name?
I was supposed to be a Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
I could see it.
So I was either going to be I don't know that they knew if I was going to be a boy or a girl. So I was either going to be a Samuel or a Samantha, and they were just going to call me Sam. But then I don't know why they changed it to Brad. I never heard that story, but I just know that my mom told me we were going to call you Sam, but then we decided not to.
In the hospital room, they just went,
Yeah.
how about Brad instead? Okay.
Sounds good.
Perfect. My name was supposed to be Abigail. And then my dad's mom had a dog named Abby. And so my mom was like, yeah, I don't think that'll work.
I had a similar and I'm going to tell this story, and it's this way in my head. So if my parents are listening and they start texting me that I'm wrong, then so be it.
Nobody will ever know.
But I for some reason, it's in my head that my mom told me once that she was going to name me Craig. And
That is so funny.
and then a couple years before that, her brother, my uncle, named my cousin Craig. And so that was taken out of the equation. But every time this is real. Every time somebody gets my name wrong, so they call me by the wrong name, it is 100% of the time Chris. I still to this day, today, walk downstairs to the KFC that I've talked about many times on this show, got lunch, and they're like, hey, Chris. I'm like, I am not Chris.
Yeah, but they don't always call you Chris. Sometimes they call you Kyle.
Oh, that's
Kyle
right. Okay,
Wiggins.
99% of the time, because Dana Lash called me Kyle Wiggins in all of those promos. Man, if I could pull those up right now, I would. But this is a true story. In high school, I had a classmate named Chris, and the teacher would call me Chris every day and him Ryan. And it got to the point where we were like, I'm not even going to correct you anymore, because we correct you every day and you still do it.
Oh, man.
So at the end of the semester, guess whose grade I got?
Chris's grade.
Chris's grade. I got Chris's grade, and Chris got Ryan's grade. And guess who had a better grade?
Chris.
Chris did. And I was Chris. So I benefit. It really didn't end up affecting much because I think he had on the report card, all it was a B. But we looked up our grades in the book, and my grade was a little higher than it should have been, and his grade was a little lower than it should have been. So we knew, oh, she swapped us even in the grade book. All right. Well, that's Brad Nation.
Yep, Brad Nation.
Is that what we're going with?
That's for now. But that's the hashtag I got, and I love it. I've never had a hashtag about myself before, so I run with it.
Were you about to tell Dan's story there?
Yeah, Dan commented on the YouTube and said, a friend of mine named their dog Oscar. Pretty common dog name. Too bad their last name was Meyer. LOL. True story.
That's pretty funny. Well, if you log on, you can comment like that, or you can participate in today's YouTube live chat poll. Which member do you think would have the best poker face? Hannah, Brad, Annie, or Ryan? Hannah, do you want to make your case there, or are we just going to let that be? Because you could interpret this in a number of ways.
Poker face. Well, I've always gotten lots of comments about my face, mainly that I have the face to work in radio. So
that is not, you've never so gotten mean. That comment in your life.
Yes, I have.
What?
Many times. Yes. We're streaming on the live stream today. If you guys want to look and judge for yourself who has the best poker face. I believe Scooter asked if we were going to show our poker faces on air. We will do it on the break because showing our poker face on the radio doesn't translate very well. So we'll do that on the break.
If you're interpreting poker face as being a good liar, you're being able to lie and nobody know it, Hannah just did a great job, because nobody in their right mind has ever told Hannah she has a face for radio.
Yes, they have.
That's ridiculous. All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll be right back.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw, Tom's nephew. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. Learn the strategies that have helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 36 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
If you've decided you want to lose a few pounds, my friends at Victory Men's Health can help. Go to victorymenshealth.com, find the location close to you, and tell them you're interested in semaglutide. This is fantastic. It's been approved by the FDA for overweight adults. Some people have lost 15% of their body weight. They've seen tremendous results with this medication. Again, go to victorymenshealth.com, victorymenshealth.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service.
Since our friends in DC can't get inflation under control, I thought I would do my part by offering a 10% discount on all tree work performed now through March. Let us do the hard work this winter while you stay bundled up in your home. Check us out today at hansonstree.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The moment the House Speaker's husband was attacked. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Police released the video from the attack last October.
San Francisco police officers arrived at the home of then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to find her husband Paul and another man, both trying to gain control of a hammer.
Drop the hammer.
Nope.
Hey. What is going on?
I'm not getting an answer on call.
Video from an officer's body camera shows a suspect identified as David DePape then lunging with that hammer towards the 82-year-old Pelosi. Officers tackled DePape, and Pelosi is seen lying motionless on the floor.
Fox's Jared Halpern. DePape has pleaded not guilty to multiple counts, including attempted murder. The parents of Tyree Nichols say they're grateful action was taken quickly against the Memphis police officers accused of killing him in a traffic stop confrontation earlier this month. 5 officers fired and charged with murder. Video footage of the beating will be made public tonight.
For a mother to know that their child was calling them in their need and I wasn't there for him, do you know how I feel right now? Because I wasn't there for my son.
But Nichols' mom, Rovon Wells, has called for peace with protests expected. The Republican National Committee decides today whether the party should keep the same leader.
The smart money is still on Ronna McDaniel, right? She has worked closely with about 2/3 of the people in this room for the last 6 years. But there's no question that the insurgent campaign of Harmeet Dillon has tapped into a frustration that activists and donors alike have that the party is underperformed. So the question is, who's to blame, and will the party go in a different direction? Will they pursue basically a more populist agenda with Dillon or stay the course with McDaniel?
Fox's William Lajeunesse at the RNC's winter meeting in Dana Point, California. America is listening to Fox News.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A gusty southerly flow helping to boost our temperatures to 48 this afternoon under partly sunny skies. Some clouds around tonight, breezy and 32. Saturday, partly sunny, still windy, about 52 Saturday afternoon. A weak front comes by Saturday night, clouds, a couple of rain showers, maybe a little freezing rain, no big deal. 28 Sunday, clouds and 35. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're a fan of 97.1, get a t-shirt. Visit 971talk.com/merch to see all the new t-shirt designs and show your support for St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Have you been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Don Chamberlain from right here in Greater St. Louis, and I want to give you a copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks and IRAs have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I had enough. There may be a way to grow your money when the market goes up, potentially double digits in good years, reduce taxes, and have my principal protected if the market declines again. Call Chamberlain Group now to get my free book and talk to me personally to discover the strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose principal if the market declines again. Call 1-800-807-3838 to discover this asset, and I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-807-3838. That's 1-800-807-3838. Again, 1-800-807-3838.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Join Mark Patrick seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express Suite St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. And Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome to Friday on the Annie Fry Show. My name is Ryan Wiggins. I'm usually on the Annie Fry Show at this time, on Fridays especially, but today Annie is not in studio. She has been hit with the stomach bug. Their family is going to get through it. Hopefully this weekend, everything will be back to normal on Monday. But in the meantime, an hour behind us now, I have done a few things and will probably continue to do a few things that aren't, I guess, maybe typical for Annie Fry Show, although I don't know what typical is because I'm on the Annie Fry Show and I tend to do things that are sort of atypical anyway. But one of those I'm going to throw out there.
I don't know what's typical for the Annie Fry Show as you're on the Annie Fry Show.
Well, I'm the one doing them. So this isn't, normally a host thing to do. This is a co-host thing to do. But would you expect that somebody farting on The View would have already shown up in the first hour? Because that did happen.
We usually try to stray away from The View, but when something like that happens.
When somebody lets one on The View, you pretty much have to play it.
We always report on hot air on The View.
That's good.
That was gross.
That's a good one.
But another one of those things that we tend to not do is say, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but because you know what comes next. But I have a conspiracy theory, and I teased this a little bit at the beginning of the show. I even talked about it in my hit on the Mark Cox Morning Show this morning. That are you guys familiar with what is hitting the internet right now regarding the egg shortage?
Outside of people complaining about
Egg-demic?
Does it have a name now? Egggate?
I've heard egg-demic, but
Egg-demic. So I think
existential crisis.
I like that. I like that.
I think the jokes today.
I think it's that chair.
It is. Your secret's out, Ryan. You're not actually funny. You just sit in the correct chair.
I'm getting a live feed from the chair. This is everybody knows, I think, that we have an egg shortage. And I just went to Excellent, Dan says. I'm not even, there's other comments coming through. I like the puns. I like the puns. Keep them coming. But I went to Walmart last night, and I think even on this show when I filled in, there's a guy named Trent Luce who we've had on before. He is a Midwestern, mostly farm advocate, and he deals with a lot of farm issues. And he's part of like farmers associations. And he talks to the media a lot. So he's kind of a liaison between farmers and bigger organizations and media and stuff. And he knows what he's talking about. He's a farmer himself. He's a rancher, I think, by trade. And he said back about 6 months ago, he said there's problems coming with the egg supply. And when he says that, I usually go, okay, well, I take you seriously. But he's so close to it that I never really know, is this something that's going to be a problem for farmers, or is it going to be a problem for me going to Walmart? You know, because he's right there on the ground.
But generally, problems for farmers turn into problems for you going to Walmart.
Well, they do. But let's say there's a virus sweeping through hitting cows, and he's saying, "Oh man, we got a real problem with the beef supply this winter or something." Well, a lot of times it'll turn out that yes, you did, but you just saw a little price increase at the grocery store. And I'm not talking about the last few years of inflation. I'm just talking about like over time. You know, he may say, "Oh, you know, there's a real issue with chickens right now," or whatever, and you may notice it a little bit, but it may not like really disrupt your life. But this egg thing is actually a pretty big disruption. I mean, going to get eggs before Christmas was really hard for people to get stuff for baking. Right now, all the prices of baked goods are going up because of all of the egg shortages. Annie just chimed in and says, Ruler Foods, though, because you actually can still go there, and their supply is great. They always have the cheapest prices. And I screwed up because I went to Walmart last night just because it's right by my house, trying to run out real quick and come back. No kidding. Saw prices of a dozen eggs there for $7.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's crazy. And it's to the point now where you're seeing the price of eggs, sometimes cage free, is cheaper than the corporate eggs, you know, which is nuts because those are usually the really expensive ones. So this
Big
is all
egg.
Big egg.
Yeah, big egg. Well, now you're getting into the conspiracy territory here, because what's going on is, and this has been hitting the internet, and I'm fascinated by it. So I'm going to play a clip here of somebody telling, I think 30 seconds of their story, and she's not like a storyteller, and you can hear chickens are all around her, so she kind of goes on some tangents. So I tried to pull the best 30 seconds, and I'll fill you in as to what she's talking about once we play it here.
Hey, has anybody else's chickens not laid a single egg? Because we've had them for 50 years, and we've never gone a winter without a single egg. Not one single egg. Well, we started letting our chickens out and to free range. We usually feed them. You can see they're not even touching the feed anymore. Like, this has been here for 3 days. They don't want it. And apparently, everybody who's been feeding their chickens this type of feed has stopped getting eggs altogether. So people who aren't able to let their chickens free range or can't run around the yard at all aren't getting any eggs.
So she is a small-time farmer. You know, they don't have like a huge farm. This isn't big egg, as Hannah put it. This is somebody who's just, you know, has a coop and gets eggs for themselves. These are the people that when you drive by, you know, in a little bit more rural areas, you'll see eggs for sale because they just have some chickens on their property. These are those people. And what she says in the full video is that starting in about September for her and October for a lot of other people, they started having no eggs. And she said, well, that's somewhat common. Every now and then your chickens will just go through a season where nobody's laying the eggs for a little bit of time. And winter is typically a little bit slower, but not like this, where they've been now like 3 months or more and had 0 eggs from any of their chickens. And she's like, okay, this is really weird. And they noticed they had one chicken named Lulu, who's their they always know Lulu because she's bright white and she's just crazy. And you know, it's a funny video because she talks about the different personalities of the chickens. They said Lulu always gets out. So Lulu started running around one day, and we never know how she Houdini's out of the chicken coop, but she's the only one that does it. And she starts running around, and then she'll come back, and so it's okay. We don't like worry about it, but she always gets out. Well, then after all these months, Lulu is the only one that has started laying eggs. And so we said, okay, something's up. What is going on? And real quick, I'm pointing out here, Libby is on our chat right now. She says, same thing is happening to our chickens. So I love that because I want to know how real this is. Thank you for chiming in, Libby. She says, the girl in the video says, so we started following Lulu around. Did I call the lady? I said Lulu or Libby. I don't remember. I hope I didn't call you the chicken name, Libby. If I did, I apologize. But Lulu's running around the yard. They start figuring out, well, Lulu's eating stuff that the other chickens are not.
Mm-hmm.
So they start letting all the chickens out. And all the chickens start basically looking at the feed and going, no, I'm going to go eat anything else other than that feed, which they weren't able to do when that's all they had. So then all of the chickens start producing eggs again. She goes, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So she gets in these Facebook groups that a lot of independent little farmers are in and said, are you guys having the same issues? Apparently, for months, everybody's saying, yeah, we've been having the same problems. Our chickens, starting in about October, just stopped laying eggs entirely. And some of them are saying, it's been 50 years I've never seen it happen. Now, there's different ebbs and flows, just like anything else, but I've never seen chickens completely stop laying eggs. So I wanted to pull this second clip and show you what independent farmers are doing to get around this.
In nearly 30-something years of raising chickens, I have never gone without eggs, not even just one. And since before Halloween, I have not gotten a single egg until about a week ago. And I switched the feed that I was giving. I no longer am feeding chicken feed. I have switched my girls to goat feed. Steel cut oats, black sunflower seeds, and goat feed. I have to say, there's something to this. If I have to put my little tinfoil hat on, it's kind of weird.
So that's another independent farmer saying that they have switched entirely to goat feed away from chicken feed, and all of a sudden their chickens are laying eggs again. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but when egg prices are that high, and all of a sudden you have basically all independent egg producers having the same problem, having no eggs, you start to ask some questions. I'm not going to answer those questions. I'm just going to ask them. And I will say this, that if you haven't heard of this, because Brad, I know you and Hannah both said that maybe you hadn't heard of this problem.
I hadn't heard. I know that there was an egg shortage, but I had heard it was because a bunch of chickens had died off because of bird flu and stuff like that. But
well, I think that's true. And I think this is secondary to that. So usually, if you have a big problem, you don't have problems compiled upon problems.
Right.
And this sounds like there was something in a lot of feed. And now it could be a coincidence, but it's just incredible timing that you'd have an entire supply of feed all at once. And this is apparently all over the place. I mean, we have, again, Libby just commented on our own chat saying she's had the same problem. And these other people are all over the Midwest saying that they've had 0 eggs for the entire winter.
Libby says that she thinks it's worth a shot and she'll try. And if it works, she'll give the AFS a few free dozens. Ryan, where did you get those clips from?
They're just TikTok. I mean, these are just all over the place. So okay. I can't tell you exactly where they are. I just know that they're in the Midwest somewhere doing these videos. And there's a bunch, like people have been tweeting them to me as I've been talking about it even. So thank you for that. But yeah, it's a problem. And the fact that people are working around it is good now, but it's crazy to see, again, putting the tinfoil hat on here and hoping that, things happen. You could just have a bad batch of feed that just happened to happen at the worst possible time. But it does make you ask questions if there's Big Egg could profit off of this.
Big Egg. Lisa from our Facebook commented that it's true for her too. They have 9 hens and they are getting either 0 or 1 eggs a day.
Incredible. Well, if you've not heard of this, feeding them goat feed apparently is what a lot of people are doing. I will say that my own wife, Katie Wiggins, it's so weird that I will bring to her the top news of the day. Something like, honey, have you heard they're finding documents in Joe Biden's garage or whatever it is? And she'll be like, no idea. But I come to her and I go, hey, have you heard the chicken conspiracy? And she's like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard that. So, like this stuff, you just never know who's paying attention to what. And apparently this one is out there and is kind of making the rounds now. So, hey, especially, I mean, I think that this could be a cause of this segment, but if it helps, and if you are having trouble, maybe check the feed and maybe switch brands, or apparently move to goat feed. That's what a lot of people are doing, and it's helping a lot.
You can go free range with them.
Go free range. Brad is going to always advocate for free range.
Free range eggs. Free eggs for range.
Free eggs for range. By the
There
way,
you go.
yeah, and we will take free eggs, but we will not. We'll give you credit, but we will not necessarily refer to them as free range because that's free advertising for Brad Range. Somebody mentioned in the last segment, Range Nation should be called Within Range.
I think that's a great idea.
And we got to do that now.
Okay.
Because it's something coming from within Brad Range for the future. So we'll have to make that happen. All right. Thank you for indulging that. And hopefully it was helpful. Maybe if you didn't know that was happening, and maybe you can switch and we can single-handedly solve the egg crisis. I think we just did it. We'll be right back with more Annie Fry Show on the way here on a Friday on the Annie Fry Show.
Bright light city gonna set
You're
my
listening to the Annie Fry Show.
On fire. Got a whole lot of money.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out there. They're all living the devil may care.
I'm Howard Mackler, GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Brian O'Brien, owner of the Beam Easy Living Center. I heard about the tax refund in GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, we were uncertain of how we would be able to keep our employees working and supporting their families while maintaining a business. Then GetRefunds.com got me approved for a payroll tax refund. And with that money, was able to reinvest in our employees that were able to stay with us during such a difficult time. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim right now. You will be glad you did.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. Toto, March 26th at Stiefel Theater. Matchbox 20, June 20th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Foreigner, July 19th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Bret Michaels Party Gras, July 28th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top, August 17th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
Download Upside and start getting cash back wherever you roll. It's like having your own hype man. Get an average of 17% cash back at restaurants.
Oh, it's dinner time.
Average of 13% on groceries.
Get those groceries.
10 cents per gallon average cash back on gas.
It's go time.
Plus, cash back at participating convenience stores too.
Stacks on stacks.
Users can earn hundreds of dollars a year, 3 times more than other apps.
Upside, show me that money.
All right, we get it. It's easy. Just sign up for the free Upside app and start getting cash back for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Get cash back for doing you with the free app from Upside.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Jackie DeAngelis from Fox Business.
Workers are at home. Participation is very low, and that's what's keeping this unemployment rate low. So they are not being incentivized to go back to work.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool, all about the bounce in my step. Watch it on the news, what you gonna do? I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
No one's gonna listen to me. If I write a song, preaching what is wrong, will they let me sing on TV? Should I keep it light?
This is Ryan Wiggins filling in for Annie Fry today on a Friday. We should talk about the fact that Hannah fell asleep at work today. We should just come right in with that and just get it out in the open. Don't try to hide it from management or anything.
That is true.
But you weren't on the clock.
Technically.
Do you want to explain?
I got my show prep done. So this morning I filled in on the Y98 morning show, the Brett and Julie morning show. I filled in. So I was here in the studio, well, over there at 6 a.m. The show ended up I finished around 9 o'clock. I was so tired from being awake. I couldn't really sleep well last night. I knew I was going to be on Y98 and I was jittery and excited. So I didn't really sleep well, got up super early, finished there, put in our music, got everything ready. And I had some extra time. So I snuck into the morning show office for 97.1 and fell asleep. And luckily I woke up 15 minutes before the show started. My eyes just shot open and I ran out and everybody's like, "You good?" I was like, "Yep." And Trisha and Brad got me a coffee. So that was great, but I am awake now. I'm alert.
You should be very thankful to Brad, first of all, who accidentally did wake you up ahead of time. I just need to point that out.
Yes, he did.
Came
give me
in
a
and
mini
goes,
heart attack.
"It's noon." And you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And it was not. It was not noon. It was 11.
It was 11. Yep.
And he genuinely thought it was showtime.
That was bad.
He was like, "Hannah, it's 11:57." And I was like, "What? I swear I literally just closed my eyes." And he was like, "No, it's noon." And I'm like, "No, literally no way." And I checked my phone. I'm like, "Brad, it's 11." So you did give me a mini heart attack, but I got my little nap in and I'm ready to go.
Now, Brad turned it around, though, because Trisha, Brad, and I had a meeting in my office, impromptu meeting, where we were going through, we were doing important show prep stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We were going through a test that said, "Which office character are you?" And you had to answer what kind of breakfast you eat and stuff like that. Well, then our boss walked in, Steve, and he's like, "Oh, clearly you guys are super busy right now." So we stopped doing that temporarily, and we decided instead a better use of our time would be to go ask Anna, our digital director, to tape us waking you up
Oh man.
in the craziest way possible. And so
You keep saying we.
And Brad really took your side on this.
Thank you.
Trisha and I were like, "Dude, what a square that guy is."
Yeah, Trisha literally called me a square.
Because we had already planned it with Anna that we were going to come into, we as in probably me and Trisha, because Brad was having nothing to do with it. We were going to sneak into that office, and then I was going to hold, here was my brilliant idea.
Oh boy.
I was going to hold, if I could find symbols, I was going to do that, but I figured there's probably not symbols
Definitely
just like hanging around.
back.
Yeah. But I figured we could probably find a megaphone somewhere. And even if it was just like a prop one, I was going to bring in a megaphone and then stand right next to you and then say, "Hey, little bear, time to wake up."
In the megaphone?
I got you a megaphone. No,
that's
like I was gifting you a megaphone. It was all about setting it up to where I was going to yell and then not doing it. It was going to be a great video, but then you were already awake and we
Luckily,
were so sad.
my eyes shot open at 11:45.
Trisha-
I was really worried for a minute.
Trisha was actually mad at me thinking that I had woken you up to prevent you from.
Yeah, we were ready to go.
Oh man.
It was going to be good stuff. News story that I wanted to mention to you guys and see where you stand on it. Now, you're going to hear this and go, "What the heck? Where do you think I stand on this?" But hear me out. Indiana lawmaker and there's a couple of these. Like this isn't an isolated story. Indiana lawmaker targets furries in schools. Schools. Now, again, I think I would know your position on that
On
issue.
furries in schools.
In schools. Schools say there's no problem. Why are you trying to fix this problem?
Oh my gosh. Get your litter box out of here.
So, and that's actually the other story is that in North Dakota, the headline, similar headline, don't identify as human. North Dakota schools don't want you. So these are real legislation. Now, the Indiana was like one guy introducing this, but in North Dakota, the whole legislature introduced a bill that would send a clear message to non-human identified students: you're not wanted in the Rough Rider state. So my question for you
Rough Rider.
is,
okay.
is
Wait,
let's,
did they non-human identified
yes,
students?
If you do not identify as a student in North Dakota, you will not be able to attend school.
Makes sense.
Now, in Indiana, a little bit different. If you identify as a furry, you will not be able to attend school. And I hope I don't have to identify what a furry is. Hopefully you already know what that is, because explaining it would be a little uncomfortable.
I would rather you not know what it is.
No way. Chris F on our YouTube channel says my kid's school has 2 or 3 in his class.
Thank you, Chris, because
What?
that was one of my questions, because we keep hearing this, that it's an issue, but then we also hear the pushback from the other side. Literally in this article is, this is not an issue. This isn't happening, so you don't need to pass laws about it. Which is the question I was going to pose to you specifically, is if it's not happening, are we over legislating this? But Chris says it is happening. So
5 years ago, I'd have been like,
grade.
yeah, this is insane.
grade.
Why are we doing this? Now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we're being proactive.
I thought the same thing. And that was the point I was going to make. Thank you. It was that even if this is not an issue at all right now, it will be in 3 years.
That's a good point. That's a
So
good point.
why not get ahead of this right now and say, look, let's nip it in the bud like Barney Fife and stop this thing from even becoming an issue, because when it does, we don't want to be reactionary. We're getting, public opinion is with us right now. Let's pass this right now.
Rise of Darkness on Twitch said my wife has a furry in her class.
Incredible. I was actually going to pose this question to the chat and see, but I thought, no, I don't know if really anybody's going to say that, but apparently.
You know what I've never seen is a furry in public. Like, I've never been in a public restroom and seen a litter box.
Well, I don't know maybe if you're defining furry correctly.
I don't know that that's how, like.
How do you define furry?
It's
Ryan's struggling really hard.
Someone who prefers the bedroom company of other people dressed up like, I don't even know if animals is the right.
I don't know that that's an accurate description.
Yeah,
it's people dressed up.
That's not the description that
it's people who identify as animals,
yeah,
or a dog or a fox or whatever.
I thought the exact opposite. I thought this was something that was like a fetish thing where people wanted to do things with other people in costumes, because that's the way I've understood it.
I thought it was someone who identifies as an animal, and I mean, I know there's different circumstances for everyone, but when I've heard furry, it's like someone who identifies, at school as an animal or whatever,
right,
and they expect the school to comply with that, as in like having litter boxes at school so they can use the restroom.
I've heard of
as
that
an animal.
happening, but I kind of was in the camp of, is this really happening, or is it somebody somewhere said that and it became a rumor and everybody, it's so crazy to talk about
they got
it.
the leash, every furry is probably different, but that is the kind that I understand and know. I don't know what they do in the bedroom. I don't want to know.
Ryan, maybe you could make a documentary about this and just call it "What is a Furry?"
Okay,
but
go ahead.
But like, to me, like, I think that there's a range of people. It's an identity thing. I identify as
scratching post.
I can't learn math today because I don't have a scratching post.
Well, that's my other things. Like, do you really identify as a dog? Yeah. Well, dogs don't go to school. They go to obedience class.
Right. Well, hey, maybe that's what they want, though. Because if I was a kid and I knew I didn't have to go to school if I identified as a dog, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a dog. I am also a dog. You a dog? I'm a dog. Let's go have pizza.
But like, are we
Like
looking
dogs.
at this? Like, is this like coming? Like, because a lot of the kids that the people in here are talking, it's like you're talking about fifth graders and little kids. So it's not the sexual thing.
Yeah.
So what it is kids just kind of like, I don't know, who here is a 5-year-old hasn't said I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah. I'm the same way as I'm a fireman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we treating these games the same way that we're treating gender dysmorphia and that sort of thing?
We are. Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
and-
these are all this. Yeah, exactly.
But this is the logical conclusion of going down that path.
Yeah. KK on the YouTube page says Jesus is coming back very soon. Wanted to highlight that comment. Very true. Very true. People have lost their minds because they have absolutely no objectivity to their morality. So you do whatever you want, and you think you're going to be happy doing it. Because you asked the question, Brad. Furries. Now here's why I define that the way that I did. Because
I don't know if I want to know this story.
No,
Ryan.
this is a funny story.
Annie's listening.
Okay. In college, I loved a band called the Super Furry Animals. They had nothing to do with this movement because they started in the 90s when that didn't even exist. But apparently this movement, by the time I got into college, was a thing, but it was super fringe. I mean, it's still pretty fringe, but now we talk about it like it's an identity. Back then, it was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So this band was really weird, and nobody knew they existed. I pulled up a song just to show you, like, you can imagine, like, the kind of music that I listen to. I still listen to this stuff, but in college, I listened to this kind of music. Wait for the beat will kick in a second.
Do I need to have the dump button? Right?
No, you're good.
This is exactly what I would expect college-age Ryan Wiggins to listen to.
Right? So I love the Super Furry Animals. And it turns into a real song. Just funny opening. So anyway,
Are you telling us that you're a furry?
No, I'm not, but I'm telling you that I bought a shirt that was the Super Furry Animals shirt that just said furries. And I didn't know that it was a thing. And so for years, probably 2 years, I walked around on my college campus wearing a shirt that just said furries and did not know that it was a thing until much later. And then a lot of the looks that I would get on campus made a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm speaking from experience when I say that I thought I did have a definition of it back then that may not be the current definition, but I'm so
definitions are always changing, so
You're exactly right.
understandable that you could be confused. I could probably have it wrong too. The definition's probably going to change tomorrow. So.
Yeah, exactly right.
Wow.
So if that surprises anyone, I walked around on my college campus wearing a furry shirt for 2 years.
I feel like you would do that as a joke.
You know what? I probably would have still done
No,
it,
it
but
makes it even better that you did it.
The fact that I didn't know.
Unknowingly.
Yeah.
That
the fact
is
that I had
so
no
on
idea.
brand for you.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that I am not at all opposed to these laws. If you're not going to identify as a person, I can't believe we're here. I just can't believe if you came to me 15 years ago and said, you know what would be a good idea in a few years, just to get ahead of trends, would be to enact a law that if you want to go to school, you have to identify as a human. Like, that's where we are. That is where we are. This morning, now Trisha is going to come in here in a few minutes and play X's and O's at 2:00 along with Drew, which, by the way, Hannah, we opened the segment talking about you falling asleep. When I walked past this morning and saw you on Y98, I had no idea you were doing that. And it threw me off so much that I said, "Oh, hey, Ethan," to Drew, who looks nothing like Ethan.
Not even close. Holy cow, Ryan.
Yeah. And
Maybe
he was
you
like,
need a nap.
Seriously? But talking with Trisha, who's coming in for X's and O's, along with Drew, who is not Ethan, at 2:00. Trisha also pulled up another article because I was talking about these things like, we really have to identify that you need to be a human to go to school now. And she had an article pulled up at the moment, I kid you not, about a guy who identifies as an alien, even though he's clearly not an alien. He was born here on Earth. But he has, and I'm this is why it's so disturbing. The guy has cut off his own ears and nose, tattooed his entire body to look like an alien, and cut off
How do you know what an alien even looks like?
Well, that he's defining it for us, I guess, and cut off most of his own fingers. The guy identifies as dark alien or whatever that means. and says he is a different species of person. And who's to tell him he's wrong? Because what is biology? Doesn't matter. I mean, when you throw out the definitions of words, you just can do anything you want.
Well, this is the culmination or the logical endpoint of you have your truth and I have my truth. And who are you to tell me what I believe is true isn't true?
Yes. And right now, you say that stuff and you go, oh, guy identifying as an alien and cutting off his fingers. That's either borderline sad or funny. I don't know which. I don't know the guy.
No, it's sad.
It's sad because if you knew him, you'd be sad. And if you know him, like that he is an actual person, it's sad.
But even though that I don't know him, I'm sad for him because he's clearly disturbed. There's something wrong. He's not functioning as a regular person functions.
Yes.
And to do that to your body, I mean, cutting off your nose and your ears so that you feel more like an alien.
Yes.
Is not a normal line of thinking.
Oh, and I'm telling you, Trisha had the pictures of him up post, before he did all this and after. And I'm telling you, the guy, it wasn't like he was a social outcast. He looked like a normal, I would say semi-handsome guy. He didn't look like he was, trying to mutilate himself or anything. I mean, he just looked like a guy. And he has completely destroyed himself. And the word's funny. I almost feel like I need to explain it now that you've said that because I agree with you that when I say funny, it's because the quote that led the article was, people sometimes when I go into restaurants, people ask me to sit on the terrace, like that. He was saying I'm being ostracized for this, and that's the best he could come up with was well, people sometimes ask me to sit maybe a little bit away from the rest of the people because he looks so strange. But that's why I'm like, well, it's kind of funny that that's what he's come to. Like, oh, I'm being pushed out of society for some reason, entirely because it was disturbing to see.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's fully tattooed. I mean, he does really look like a different being at this point. Anyway, we'll take a break. This is the Annie Fry Show. Whoa, that was hot. We'll take a short break. We're going to talk about some good news. Diamond in the Rough with Hannah is coming up next.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
If I write a song, preaching what is wrong, will they let me sing on TV? Should I keep it live?
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis is designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right, seminars, Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you've decided you want to lose a few pounds, my friends at Victory Men's Health can help. Go to VictoryMen'sHealth.com, find the location close to you, and tell them you're interested in semaglutide. This is fantastic. It's been approved by the FDA for overweight adults. Some people have lost 15% of their body weight. They've seen tremendous results with this medication. Again, go to VictoryMen'sHealth.com, VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Ryan Wiggins filling in for Annie Fry here on a Friday. Trisha has entered the studio, and she is going to do Diamond in the Rough for Hannah. Go ahead.
Here we go, everybody. Happy people doing happy things. Something about puppies.
Pretzels for pups. The charity I made up for my online profile. Your mic isn't on.
No, it's not. I was like,
Okay, wow. All right.
You sound great now.
Yeah,
I
now we can
promise
hear you.
I'm awake, guys. Come on.
Yeah, you're doing great. Doing a great job.
We ready for Diamond in the Rough?
Ready for Diamond in the
Okay.
Rough.
The Diamond in the Rough. Brought to you by The Diamond Shop. TheDiamondShop.net.
Uber driver donates kidney to passenger. Ryan, did you ever do this for your passengers?
Only twice.
Okay. Uber driver Tim Letts gave passenger Bill Summel more than a 5-star drive. In the summer of 2021, Letts picked up Summel from a medical appointment and drove him to his home in Salem, New Jersey. They chatted during the 40-minute journey, and Letts learned that Summel had been told that he needed to find a new kidney. At the end of the ride, Letts told Summel, "God must have put you in my car," and offered to be his donor.
That's incredible.
I know that floored him. And in December of 2021, they took a test and learned that they were a match. It was a success. And a year later, Summel said his life is almost back to normal after the surgery. He wants people to know who are in similar situations that there is hope, and said that if he never shared his story with Tim, he never would have gotten a new kidney.
Well, that's a
So,
little beyond nice.
That is an amazing story.
What? I love the quote, "God must have put you in my car today." But I do have to question it in this instance. Was he thinking, gosh, I need to give somebody a kidney? Who's going to get in my car today? And then all of a sudden, oh, there it is. Now I know.
Well, wait.
Wait.
The Uber driver was driving around looking for somebody
a
to give a
kidney?
kidney to?
Did I get
Or-
it backward? Who was giving the kidney?
The Uber driver gave the kidney
Okay,
to the passenger,
yeah.
but the passenger was the one, like he was picked up from his appointment, and he was, I guess, sharing like, "Oh, I just found out I need a new kidney," and then the driver,
Said, God must have put you in my car today.
yes,
Because I was looking to give a kidney.
no,
Sorry, that's just where my mind goes.
person, he realized someone was struggling and he wanted to help.
I do
Don't
think it's
you
a
turn my
miraculous.
diamond
I'm
in the
not.
rough around.
I'm not. I think that is an incredible story. It just, that quote just took me a little off guard.
I mean, this is a real question, though, too, to ask yourself. Would you be able to donate something like a kidney to a complete stranger?
Man, to a stranger? I don't think so. I don't think I could do it. I mean, for somebody I knew and loved,
It's different, yeah.
I could probably get myself to that point mentally because it would take a lot. But for somebody you didn't know, that's saying a lot.
What are the risks involved? And I know you guys are all doctors, so this is a really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
question. What are the risks involved? Because I actually know somebody who donated a kidney to somebody they didn't know.
Really? Can
I
you tell the
think-
story?
I think I might do it.
I don't know.
Willingly.
Like right
Wait,
now.
you not willingly.
Yeah, wait, not willingly.
Like if someone,
I would do it if somebody took it
I would.
from me.
If I happen to wake up in a bathtub full of ice, yeah,
My
sure, I'd do
kidney's
it.
Gone. I'm in.
Where's my side hurt?
if I met someone and they, were ill and they, asked me to get tested, I would.
And they had a knife.
Like that. I don't want my kidney to end up.
Wait,
on the
so
black
you're
market.
saying
That's not what I'm saying.
I think you're in dangerous territory here, Hannah, because we're broadcasting this. If somebody listening who it would be a stranger heard that, they'd say, "Oh, you would?" And then they're going to call the station right now.
I
and you're ready to
retract
go.
my earlier statement.
You don't want to surprise donate a kidney.
Well, I said it on the air, so I guess I got to go through with it.
Okay, I'm going to turn my mic back off.
No, it was a great story. It really was. It was inspiring.
Thank you.
Clearly so inspiring that now you're going to do it.
Brandon on the YouTube chat says it's a major surgery, and he said major in all caps, and recovery for both the donor and the recipient. It is. I don't know. To me, it seems like that's a very big step to take, because it's not a minor surgery. They have to put you under. Anytime you go under, you may not come back out. So to do that for just a complete stranger's, I don't know, amazing to me.
We're transitioning here since we're talking about driving Uber. Ready?
Well, a lot of this really starts back in mid-December with that Arctic blast, which shut down refineries due to extremely cold weather. Many of those refineries, of course, exposed to the elements, and extremely cold temperatures can lead to equipment malfunctions, pushing off millions of barrels a day in production. And then shortly thereafter, China announced its reopening, something you were talking about in the previous segment, something that also has a major influence on the price and consumption of crude oil. That's pushed oil back close to $80 a barrel.
So that there we are. You see, that was a beautiful transition. I'm a very professional radio host. Talked about just the Uber thing. And then I went, oh, you know what? You know what affects Uber drivers? Gas prices. And my story is.
What a mind-blowing realization.
Thank you.
That is crazy.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Gas prices could reach $4 again per gallon by April, maybe sooner, according to this analyst. And he cites there, even in that clip, that it's because China has been shut down for so long. I mean, we don't talk about this very much, but China has had this zero COVID policy for way longer than anybody in the world has. They have killed their own economy doing it. And part of me is like, go ahead. Kill your own economy. Your dictator's going to dictate. And they're doing it. They're using COVID to do it. So but they are reopening now, finally. And who knows how long it'll last, because they've said they're reopening many times. But analysts are saying, well, if they really are going to fully reopen, and oil, as you know, we've talked about this many times, Joe Biden hasn't done anything to get us any more oil.
No, as a matter of fact, his only strategy was the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which they've not announced any new ones, and there's no more oil coming out of the SPR. So,
the SPR.
So now that's going to drive prices up.
Oh, Strategic Petroleum Reserves. Yep.
Oh.
The SPR. The SPR. Very good. Very good.
Thank you for explaining that.
But we've also talked, Brad, seriously, about the fact that we've hit now in Missouri. We're blessed. I mean, this is one of the lowest gas prices in the country, right where we're sitting, especially if you go a little bit into Missouri from St. Louis, Missouri.
You go the same direction or same distance the other way, and it's not great.
No, they're going way high. They're like 50 cents higher right now. But they're sitting, I'd say, in the city right now at about 320, roughly, right where we're at, which is not
319. 319 St. Louis County.
Okay. So that's where we're at, which is a little bit higher than it was. So it is creeping back up a little bit. Do you think that we're actually going to go back to 4? Because we've talked about, Brad, you and I both on air and off, we speculate about these things all the time just because that's what we do, that they're trying through the Fed to drive us into a recession. So is the recession going to offset the gas price, or is the gas price going to go back up regardless?
I think the gas price is going to go back up. Now, will the recession keep the gas prices from going up as high as they can go? Sure. But I don't know. I think that we're still going to feel it because it's going up now. Or what would we say? $8 for a dozen eggs. Things are getting really expensive. The recession's about to hit, but the gas prices are moving in the wrong direction. I think they're still going to go up.
Yeah.
I like how they're saying, well, the inflation is slowing down. That's a nice spin you've got there. Because
but it's still like it's 6%.
It's 6%. That's still terrible. But they're going, well, in comparison to 9, that's better. And you're like, technically, that's true.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's still a lot worse than what it was when you took office.
And every time we talk about this subject, I say the same dang thing. It's that if we're talking about 6% for December, that is technically lower than it was the few previous months. But it's still 6% inflation is bad. And that's compared to the year before when it was 8 to 9%. So you're talking about it's year over year, and it just compounded. And all these things, I'm just nervous that gas prices, if they start to go back up, because that's why the Fed is doing what they're doing, is to get the prices of things down. We're not really seeing that happen yet. I mean, it has to slow before it stops, so I'll give them that. Maybe this is the step in the right direction, but we're not there yet. And if this analyst is saying, well, there's global factors contributing to the fact that A, there's not any more oil being pumped, and B, if major economies are starting to open back up, well, the price is just going to stay high, then we're going to have not only a recession and high interest rates, but still high prices on everything. And all of this, it just astounds me that all of this is happening going into a major election year. Because you'd think, Trisha, she's kind of zoned out, so it's just kind of like, hey, wake up. You're not Hannah. You can't sleep. If you'd think going into an election year, like 2024, that you would play all your cards to make sure things are as good as they could possibly be in an election year. So you can say, look what I've done for the economy. But they're not even doing that for themselves. And it shocks me because if you were Joe Biden, you would just turn on the oil spigots right now and let everything catch back up. And then, oh my gosh, by election day 2024, gas prices are back down to $2. Look what I've done.
But the thing about that is to turn on the oil spigots, you have to, it's because it's speculative. You're right.
It's
reinvesting into this stuff. And if the companies are going, you're just doing this for, to get the prices down
temporarily.
For a little bit. Yeah, we're not going to reinvest millions and billions of dollars into this if you're going to try to destroy it again in the future. So it would take an entire shift on his administration's stance on fossil fuels and oil, saying we're going to support these, we're going to go with this, and they're not going to do that.
But they could unleash the leases on federal lands.
They
could do that right now. Now that's not going to make people drill, but it would at least signify that, hey, we're going to loosen this up a little bit.
Stance.
And hey, if I'm drilling right now and I'm going, hey, there's a very good chance that a Ron DeSantis wins or a Trump wins in 2024, then maybe that is worth investing in. And you never know, but they're not even doing those little things. So it just surprises me with all of the way, it's like they don't even know what's good for themselves politically. They're willing to sacrifice themselves on the altar of these ideologies that really hurt everybody, including their own re-election chances. It's almost as if they don't care about elections. Trisha, you can take us out.
Oh, okay, so back to that Uber driver thing.
I know, right?
That was a crazy story.
What a
and
nice
it was
guy.
Super kind of him, especially knowing how big of a deal that is.
Bravo.
Thank
well
you.
done. You've clearly done this for a long time.
High gas prices stink.
X's and O's next hour.
Trisha is going to be one of the contestants along with Drew, who is not Ethan. If you missed that joke, you can rewind on the Odyssey app. And we will be right back on the Annie Fry Show.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A deadly attack in Israel. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Israeli police are calling it a terror attack, a shooting at a synagogue in Jerusalem. 7 people killed, 3 critically injured before the attacker was shot and killed as he tried to escape on foot. This comes amid heightened tensions between Israelis and Palestinians over a deadly raid on militants in the West Bank. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby telling reporters earlier today,
"We believe there's an urgent need here for all parties to de-escalate, to prevent the further loss of civilian life and to work together to improve the security situation in the West Bank."
A raid that killed 9 Palestinians yesterday was followed by rocket attacks from Gaza and Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. The White House reiterating a call for police reform after the Memphis traffic stop confrontation that ended with the beating of Tyree Nichols. Video footage will be released tonight, a day after 5 fired officers were charged with murder.
The president has joined Tyree's family in calling for protests to remain peaceful.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre isn't saying whether the president plans to watch that Memphis footage or the video already released from the October attack on then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Body camera footage shows the moment San Francisco police tackled suspect David DePape as he lunged with a hammer towards Paul Pelosi.
Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
82-year-old Pelosi is seen motionless on the ground. Authorities have also released a 911 call made by Pelosi.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is. He has this. He's telling me not to. He's telling me not to do anything.
DePape is charged with state and federal crimes, including attempted murder. He has pleaded not guilty.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Congresswoman Pelosi just telling reporters she has no intention of seeing that video and that her husband continues to make progress. America is listening to Fox News.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A gusty southerly flow helping to boost our temperatures to 48 this afternoon under partly sunny skies. Some clouds around tonight, breezy and 32. Saturday, partly sunny, still windy. About 52 Saturday afternoon. A weak front comes by Saturday night. Clouds, a couple of rain showers, maybe a little freezing rain. No big deal. 28. Sunday, clouds and 35. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The NFL playoffs live on Odyssey, and Westwood One brings you the AFC and NFC championship games, streaming live for free this Sunday on the Odyssey app. The 49ers visit the Eagles.
Touchdown! Jalen Hurts!
Into McCaffrey up the middle into the end zone.
And then it's a rematch between the Bengals and the Chiefs.
Wide open! Jamar Chase takes it in! Touchdown Chiefs!
Catch all the action from Westwood One. Your playoffs, your Odyssey. Get in the game and download the free Odyssey app today.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you've decided you want to lose a few pounds, my friends at Victory Men's Health can help. Go to victorymenshealth.com, find the location close to you, and tell them you're interested in semaglutide. This is fantastic. It's been approved by the FDA for overweight adults. Some people have lost 15% of their body weight. They've seen tremendous results with this medication. Again, go to victorymenshealth.com, victorymenshealth.com.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
You need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show. This is the Annie Fry Show. This is Ryan Wiggins. Somebody give me a bell.
A lot of Wiggins.
I'm sitting in the wrong spot, and
Brad,
I need my bell because we're about to play X's and O's.
Somebody cue the drummer.
Now, Annie's not here, so I'll be just hosting like I normally do, but we're short an expert. So Annie is usually an expert. Unless she chimes in online, she will not be participating in this week's episode. So our experts today will be Hannah Gibbs and Brad Range from the Annie Fry Show. That's how you know both of them. Now,
Yeah.
Now, our contestants today are Drew and Trisha. Drew, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
My name's Drew Young. I'm 25.
Wow.
What, you thought I was
Social
younger?
security number?
Right.
My name is Drew. I'm 25. I like long walks on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much it.
All right. Nice. 25 years old, loves long walks on the beach. Shoes or no shoes?
On the beach or just in general?
On the beach.
No shoes.
Okay, no shoes on the beach.
Drew, are you on the market?
Yeah.
All right, ladies.
Oh,
there you go.
All right, ladies, if you like long walks on the beach without shoes and no shoes in general, apparently.
I didn't say that.
Annie says that she can be an expert.
Oh, my gosh. Can we really pull this off, do you think?
You trust her.
I think we can.
Let's try
X's and O's?
Let's try it. Annie commenting in the chat. So if you want to get online and watch us do this live, you can see her chiming in there. And we'll see if we can pull this off. So she'll still be a part of the game. All right. This will be fun.
She said no.
She said no, she couldn't pull it off?
She said LOL, or when she said no.
LOL.
Okay.
Wait,
Well,
is
but-
Annie an option or not?
I don't
She's
know.
really good at this game.
I don't know. The sarcasm isn't coming through because it's in text.
Yeah.
Well,
So I
at
can't
first
tell if she's saying yes or
Oh,
no.
she says.
Oh, she says promise not to Google.
Promise not to Google.
Okay.
Well, they
All right,
don't have
she's
the
playing.
computers in front of them anyway. So,
Okay.
all right. So we're going to
Annie's
try
confirmed.
it. We're going to try it. I don't think she meant to do that. Now we kind of roped her into it. She roped herself into it.
All right, she's in. Yes,
going
all caps.
first?
She's
Pick
all
me.
in.
She says yes. Pick me.
Okay. All right. That's Drew. We know a little bit about Drew. Trisha, we'll just skip.
Okay. That's good because I got
How do you
nothing.
feel about long walks on the beach?
Eh,
Are you on the market?
eh.
No.
I'm kidding.
No,
Wait,
no.
no.
Breaking news.
This is taking a twist.
I love my husband very, very much. We're very happy. And we both like long walks on the beach. Shoes
Shoes?
and no shoes. No shoes. I don't know what's happening. Let's play the game.
I don't want to bail you out. I'm going to do what Andy does to me
Help
sometimes
me.
and just go completely silent and just let you dig a hole. All right. This is X's and O's. You know that because of the drums. I can tell you that I am in a spot. Yeah, I'm in a spot that I normally am not. So I will have to maybe count a little bit because apparently my formatting of
Oh,
this game
Ryan.
isn't working as well over here on this computer. Hey, I got it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're doing this live. We're going to do it live. Who's going to go first? I think it should be Drew because Drew is new to the game, right? Now, you've been a part of the game as in you've been like out there working the production zone, but you haven't been in here as a contestant. So we're going to have you go first.
Okay.
So behind you is the board. You've got a full tic-tac-toe board, and you have now 3 experts, Brad, Hannah, and Annie, to choose from. You will pick the square. I have a corresponding question to each square, and then you will pick your expert to answer that. You will just have to agree or disagree to get the square. So which one do you want to start with?
Which square or which person?
Square do you want to start with?
Let's go square number 5.
Square
Center
number
square.
5, right down the middle. And who's going to answer that for you? Trisha had told him before this, don't do that.
He gave her the finger shake too. He's like, don't tell me what to do.
I'm going to go with Brad.
All right.
Brad, you guys have both stumbled into sound. So
Because it vibrate. Sorry.
no, not that one.
Vibrate.
This is a real clip from the week run through artificial intelligence software. Brad, you will have to tell me who said this.
This is not the end of my fight for our democracy. This is just the beginning. Please join us and contribute today.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let me know if you
pretty
need to hear
broad.
that again. Let me know if you need to hear that again.
I don't think I need to hear it again.
Okay.
I think I know who this
Just
is.
keep saying
Hear it
that,
again.
Ryan.
Let him know.
Do you
If
want to hear it again?
If you do need to hear it again,
Fire it
Let
again,
me
Ryan. I've forgotten now. What did he say?
okay. He?
He.
Ooh.
Interesting.
This is not the end of my fight for our democracy. This is just the beginning. Please join us and contribute today.
I've got Adam Schiff.
You do? Well, Drew, do you agree? Is that Adam Schiff? Sounded like a girl to me.
Not going to lie. I think it's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Do you?
So I'm going to disagree.
Ooh.
Okay, he's coming out of the gate disagreeing with Brad, who in fact was
This is not the end
right.
of my fight.
Oh.
What did we
I
learn?
should have known. I
What
should've
did
known.
we learn?
Square.
Join us and contribute today.
Yep.
Do I get that square now?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
do.
Oh, it's like not the first time I played this game.
Center square
5.
and O.
There you
Beautiful.
Thank you guys.
All right, Trisha, that means it's your turn.
Okay, we're gonna go with Annie if she's been able to hang on this long.
Ooh, let's see. Annie, and which square are you going with?
Number 1.
Number 1. That's great because that is easy for me to count down from. Number 1. Annie, if you're listening. Annie, are you okay? Here is question number 1 for you. An act with possible bipartisan support is making its rounds through the U.S. Senate with the intent of the bill to curb insider trading by congressional members, dubbed the Pelosi Act. Which U.S. senator introduced the Pelosi Act, Annie?
She's typing.
She's typing, but she's also on probably like a 3-second or 4-second delay. So
She says
the Pelosi Act. No, you answered too quickly. The question was,
She says
who introduced the Pelosi Act?
She says Hawley.
She says Hawley.
She is correct.
And you are also correct.
Nice.
All right.
Woo!
Jumping out to a bit of a lead here, Drew. I can see that you are beginning to sweat. There's a lot on the line.
He's also wearing a hat.
Yeah.
And he is not sweating at all. All right,
You
Drew.
were sweating.
He's used to that beach weather.
Right.
Exactly. My shoes are on. That's the problem.
Forever now, your character on the radio is going to be guy who loves beach.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing it could be. Drew, it is your turn. Which square do you want to go with here?
Let's go with 9.
For the block.
Number 9. Wow, I can't believe we're already there. Who is
Who's your expert?
Who's your expert?
I'm gonna go with Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah, you are an expert. Here you go. The Republican National Committee members are set to vote today on their new. In fact, this is happening right now. So if we find something out, we'll share it. The vote's happening right now on their new or not so new chairperson. Can you tell me the name of 2 of the main 3 people running for RNC chair? Any 2 of the 3.
2 of the 3 running for the RNC chair. Really confident on
At
this
first,
one.
I will accept 1. Then after the 1, we will go to number 2.
Annie comments, I can. Okay, well, you're not the expert, Annie.
That's right.
Next time.
I'm going to say people running for the chair are Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Do you agree or disagree?
Now, do you agree or disagree with that answer, Ethan, for the block?
Okay. All right. That's what we're doing. All right. I'm going to disagree. And
I get it. Disagree?
Answer.
I do have to say, did DeSantis join that race?
The answer is he did not, but you are correct. Okay. You are correct. It is not Mickey and Minnie. No, the answer, you want to answer it, Brad or Annie?
So you've got Harmeet Dillon.
Okay.
You've got Rona McDaniel, who is the current chair, and then Mike Lindell, the
That's
My Pillow
right.
guy.
That is the 3 of them. And they're wondering if, because it seems as if Harmeet Dillon would maybe have the support.
She would have a very good shot.
But Mike Lindell, they're worried that Mike Lindell might split the anti-Ronnie McDaniel vote, which would be so weird if that happened. Isn't this strange? The moment that Annie says, might as well be Mickey or Minnie. And that's very true, because that's what point I was going to make. Isn't it strange, the era that we're living in? Even a few years ago, you would never care about who's going to be the RNC chair. But now it's like you have to care about these things because they matter so dang much to elections, which matter so much to the country. So that's where we're at. All right, good block. Trisha, it is now your turn.
Wonderful. Let's go with square number 3.
Number 3.
And I am going to go with Brad this time.
All right. Brad, once again, you have stumbled into sound, but it is not
Speakers
AI.
of vibrating.
Speakers of vibrating. It is not AI. It is simply a sound clip that I'm going to play for you. This week, Kamala Harris began doing something very dangerous, quoting the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, yikes.
Did she quote it,
she
though?
Is not familiar.
Well, here we go. Here is that clip.
A promise we made in the Declaration of Independence that we are each endowed with the right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
All right. So, Brad, starting with the word endowed in that clip, tell me any one of the words she omitted from her quote of the Declaration of Independence. Now, if you need to hear it again with that in mind, I can play it because I know that's kind of tough. Do you want me to play it again?
I think I've got 2 words that I could give.
Okay.
The first one I'm going to give is life. The other word I want to give is inalienable.
Okay. Well, you only had to do 1, so.
I like to show off.
Yes.
Boy.
Obviously.
But he's on my side right now, and I'm on his.
Well, here is, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, that's correct. The full quote, you're exactly right. There are 3 main phrases she left out of just that one sentence. So here, I'll play it again just so you can hear it.
Endowed with the right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
Endowed by their creator, she left out, with certain inalienable, she left out, rights that among these are life. And then she says liberty and the pursuit of happiness. It seems like the words she left out were very, very deliberate, but we don't really know. All right, where does that put us on the board, guys?
Trisha is in a very good position.
Woohoo!
She has the 1 square, which is top left, the 3 square, which is top right, the 5 square, which is the center. Drew has the 9 square, which is bottom right, and then the rest are open. So if you can imagine a V of O's, Drew has a couple spots to block to keep Trisha from winning.
If you can imagine birds in flight
that were circles, in a V formation.
Oh, Ryan.
Then you'd be looking
on
at
a
kind
tic-tac-toe
of
board.
on a tic-tac-toe board.
Paint this word picture,
You'd
Ryan.
kind of be looking. That's what we do. That's
Is
what
it
we
Drew's
do.
turn?
Yeah, it's
It's
Drew's
a
turn.
happy little circle.
All right, Drew's turn. Where's the drums?
The drummer took a water break, I guess.
Even the drummer couldn't take it anymore. He's like,
I'm
fine.
out. No, he stopped
I'll
and
come
looked
back
up.
when you guys
He
get
was
it
looking at the
together.
sky that whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I looking at?
You told him to paint a picture.
Drew, which square you want to go with here?
Let's go with number 2.
Is that for the block?
It is
It
for the
is for the block. All right, it's for a block anyway. Number 2, who is answering the question for you, Drew?
I'm gonna go Annie, so we don't get this wrong.
Okay. Annie, no pressure. Here it is. While speculation continues to mount that the governor of Florida may mount a presidential run, one senator from Florida has announced that he will not be running for president. Which Florida senator announced this week in a tweet that he would not, or that he would run for senator again and not for president?
I know this one. She's typing. She says it's.
She's still typing.
And we're on a little bit of a delay.
Must be a really long name.
Or Google. Either way, we'll take
She
it.
said no Google.
Mark said Don DeSantis.
It is not a governor of
She
Florida.
says Charlie Crist.
Charlie Crist.
All right. Well,
Do you
I have
agree
no
or
idea
disagree?
who this is. So I'm gonna agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Oh no, that's unfortunate because it was Rick Scott.
Okay.
Rick Scott announced that he would not be running for president. I guess there was a little bit of speculation that he might try to run. So
Oh no, I'm so bummed.
Trisha gets a tic-tac-toe.
So what does she win? That's what I want to know.
She wins a ton of bragging rights.
Well, we still have
1, 2,
more
3,
X's
4.
and O's to play.
You still have a chance.
We're gonna fill the board.
Yeah, because
you got to run the table, but you've got a chance.
After break, you have chance for redemption.
Yeah. So we will take a short break. We'll see if Drew can come back here. This is the Annie Fry Show. We will be right back with X's and O's. I'm Ryan Wiggins filling in for Annie.
Mr. Worldwide to infinity. You know the roof on fire. We go boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance like the roof on fire. We go drink drinks and take shots until we fall out like the roof on
Have
fire.
you been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Don Chamberlain from right here in Greater St. Louis, and I want to give you a copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks and IRAs have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I had enough. There may be a way to grow your money when the market goes up, potentially double digits in good years, reduce taxes, and have my principal protected if the market declines again. Call Chamberlain Group now to get my free book and talk to me personally to discover the strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose principal if the market declines again. Call 1-800-807-3838 to discover this asset, and I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-807-3838. That's 1-800-807-3838. Again, 1-800-807-3838.
What's it like to go to the South Pole? How do some animals change color? Can you catch a liar?
That's dangerous territory.
Can you trust a gut feeling? What about yawns?
Yes, yawning is contagious.
Mike Simpson here, and on my podcast, I've Got Questions. We go through all these things we're curious about and some stuff you probably don't expect.
Yo, strawberries are not even fruits at all.
So what are they? I've Got Questions. New episodes Thursdays on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Football's biggest game of the year is coming up February 12th. But if you're looking to travel in 2023, the biggest day of the year for you is February 4th. It's AAA Travel Marketplace. It's the super big, can't-miss travel event of the year. AAA Travel Marketplace features tons of cruise and tour partners all under one roof with limited-time special offers for huge savings on your next dream vacation. AAA Travel Marketplace, Saturday, February 4th, 9 a.m. till noon at the Holiday Inn at Watson and Lindbergh in Sunset Hills. Get all the info at AAA.com/travel show.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw, Tom's nephew. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. Learn the strategies that have helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 36 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
What I love about working at Shane Company is that there's always something new going on. New things to look at, new jewelry for you to try on, new offerings. In addition to our great selection of natural diamonds, we recently brought in lab-grown diamonds. A lab-grown diamond has all the same properties as a natural diamond. It's a real diamond, just as beautiful, and made in a lab. You can't tell the difference. I invite you to come in and see for yourself. At Shane Company, you can compare two diamonds side by side and decide what's right for you. We offer the largest selection of natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. Choose from 10 beautiful shapes in a wide range of sizes, all hand-selected by our diamond experts for quality, beauty, and sparkle. Whether you choose a natural diamond or a lab-grown diamond, you can be sure it'll be absolutely gorgeous. So visit us today. We can't wait to show you what's new.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shaneco.com.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Stand on the box, stomp your feet, start clapping. Got a real good feeling, something bad about to happen.
Wait a minute. I think I recognize this song. Is this Dana Lash's song that she uses? I think she uses that song as her intro music. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy.
This is amazing radio.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I am Ryan Wiggins filling in for Annie, doing a great job, according to Trisha.
Killing it. Literally, you're killing the thing.
We are we're playing
support, Ryan.
Somebody else talk. Hurry, fast.
We're playing X's and O's with Trisha and Drew. Right now, Drew is behind. Trisha does have one tic-tac-toe across the top.
I would call that a commanding lead.
Oh, and thank you for the reminder. During the break, we do have breaking news. It was just that I was trying to put it out of my mind already.
Do you have a breaking news sounder?
Ooh,
Hannah?
This would be a great time to play that.
Breaking news.
Nicely done.
97.1. Covering it live.
Boom.
That is intense.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Because usually we're not joking about the news when we're breaking. It's like, oh,
Can we do it again? Let's do it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Breaking news. 97.1. Covering it live.
The next the next chairman of the RNC is the same as the last one. It is Ronna McDaniel.
Woo! She has won a fourth term.
She has won. My hope is that she has had enough of a groundswell that she is going to be listening to some changes that need to be made. Because ultimately, there was a lot of pushback on her going into this vote, and I guess she was able to make the machine work for her enough that it elected her again. Because I know that I was not necessarily in that camp, and as Drew, you mentioned, Ron DeSantis just came out and was the same way. And I think a lot of those people who were announcing support for Harmeet Dillon, they had nothing to lose because she has purse strings, and that's why a lot of people were not necessarily willing to go on record and go against her in that vote. It's because they know, oh, if she finds out I voted against her and she wins, I lose all the money. Well, DeSantis, he didn't need any money, and nobody who came out against her needs any money. But she will be the next chairperson again, so we'll hope that she listens to everybody. Annie says she got twice as many votes as Harmeet Dillon. Yee! Golly. So that's the news. Thanks for playing the sounder. We're back into X's and O's now. I'm glad we got that question out of the way. That question wouldn't have made sense in this break, but it did in the last one about who the chair was.
Cue the drummer.
Cue the drummer.
He's here.
coming in slow. He's coming in from the garage. Looks like he's in the lobby, and he's finally here. All right. It is. I lose. Whose turn is it right now?
I believe it's Trisha's.
Trisha's turn.
My turn. Woohoo! I'm gonna go with number 7 for my second tic-tac-toe.
Bottom left.
Now you're just rubbing it in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Drew.
Cutting deep.
Number 7, who's answering the question for you?
Hannah.
Hannah, you have stumbled into sound. Now, I'm going to play a clip from this week. This is not AI, so this is just a clip, and I have a question based on the clip. Here you go.
When you found out that the FBI had located even more classified materials in Wilmington, which 4-letter word did you use?
Oh my goodness, Peter.
Oh, KJP.
Well, the question was, who is Peter Ducey asking that about? And I think that you just gave your answer. So
what's the question?
Who is he asking the question? Sorry, about. Who is he asking the question to?
KJP.
Yes, that is correct.
KJP is correct. Is correct, yes. He is asking that question to Corinne Jean-Pierre. All right, next question. Corinne Jean-Pierre. Drew, which box do you want to go with here?
Look at you, Trisha.
This is
Tic-tac-toeing it.
tough decision. I'm gonna go with 4.
Number 4, who's answering the question for you?
At this point, I don't even know. Let's go, Brad.
All right. This is my last one.
Yeah.
All right, make it good. Here we go. Following allegations of domestic abuse, voice actor Justin Roiland was kicked off of a cartoon he created for Cartoon Network's Adult Swim, even though he is the voice of the main 2 characters of this now iconic show. The same characters who comprise the name of the show. What show am I talking about?
Geez. Gosh. Is it Rick and Morty?
Is it Rick and Morty?
Agree
is correct. It is Rick and Morty. Yeah, I just don't. I was talking about. I'm glad Trisha didn't get this question because I was talking about it with you in the office before I knew you were going to be a contestant.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I know this one.
For those of you who are fans of the show, how does the show keep going without the guy who A, created it, and B, voices the main 2 characters, Rick and Morty?
I don't know.
I don't either. They must have a plan because they've got this thing signed through 10 seasons, and they plan on fulfilling the contract. So we'll see what that show looks like. Maybe it's just about the family now, and Rick and Morty show up and just say lines from the past. That would be kind of fun to watch.
They should hire you. Yeah.
All right, my turn.
Your turn.
Number 8, please. And I'm going back to Annie if she's still here.
Okay, Annie.
Annie Fry.
Annie Fry, who is in the chat today and not in the studio. The Super Bowl is a couple weeks away, and the NFL has just 4 teams left in the playoffs. That will be whittled down to 2 this Sunday, but right now, which 2 teams will win? No. Because I need to know, because I need to get on BetQL. Or name any of the 4 teams left in the playoffs right now, Annie.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't get this question.
I was hoping you would.
I always get the sports questions.
Yes, you do.
All
Annie,
right, Annie Fry is typing.
name any one of the 4 teams left in the NFL playoffs.
Just one?
Yes, just one. Whereas you had to name 2 of the candidates for the RNC chair.
I can hear Annie right now. Jared! That's not Google. It's not against the rules.
She says the Jets.
The Jets.
Jets. Jets.
All right.
Agree or disagree?
Hold on. Okay, I can think of 3 of the 4, and that's not one of them.
Ooh.
So that.
But it could be the 4th one.
Is it though? Oh my gosh. This is really hard.
Turns up the drums.
Let's just sit in
I'm
this
gonna
moment.
say that's wrong.
And
Are you sure you want to say that's wrong?
yeah, I'm sure I want to say that, but I'm not sure that that's the right answer.
You want to say that? Let's clarify. Here.
No, I'm disagreeing.
You're disagreeing. You're saying that Annie is wrong.
Yeah.
That last team that you can't think of is not the Jets. Okay.
Is it the Jets?
And
Just making sure before I ring the
Ryan,
bell.
say it.
You are correct.
Oh, good.
It is not the Jets.
Who is
Which
it?
three did you have?
I have the Bengals, the 49ers, and the Chiefs.
And the Eagles.
And the Eagles. All right.
You got it.
Woo,
You got
teamwork.
it.
Thanks,
Explain
Annie.
this board a little bit now. What am I looking at here?
A butt whooping.
Yep, it's a
Is
wash.
that what we're looking at?
It's a wash right
Oh
now.
man, Drew, we're gonna have you back again because
know.
there's one square
Yeah.
left.
6 O's, 2 X's.
Is this the most lopsided the game has ever been?
No,
No.
surprisingly, no.
C.A. Jones.
Yeah, I don't feel as bad.
That game was a wipe.
C.H. Jones, yeah, yeah. His wife just mopped the floor with
Yeah.
him. That was fun.
Conesinc.com.
Yeah, Cajones Inc. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Question number 6. Who's left on the board here that is going to be answering this question?
That would be Hannah.
Hannah. Okay. Hannah, number 6. Samantha Markle appeared on Fox News this week, half sister to Meghan Markle,
Okay.
to push back on some of the claims made in Prince Harry's new book, or is he even a prince anymore? I don't even know. What is the name of Harry's controversial book?
I don't know a single thing about royalty.
I think I know.
I thought X's and O's was going to be easy this week.
Nope.
Disagree.
Yeah.
X gets the square.
Good job, Drew.
All right.
What's the name of
Okay.
the book, Hannah? We're not letting you off the hook of the book.
Green eggs and ham.
Green eggs and ham. Agree
us-
or disagree?
Give us the first word.
It's only one word.
Oh.
So is that a trick question?
I didn't know that. But disagree.
Okay, you got it right. Yeah, that's correct. She was wrong.
What is it?
Hannah, the answer is Spare.
Oh,
Spare?
Spare is the name of the book.
One of the allegations he makes in the book is that his job was to be the spare parts for his brother. If like his brother needed a
Oh.
kidney or a lung or something like that. That was, yeah.
Wow.
That's royalty
That's
for you.
dark.
It's brutal.
Yep, royalty. It's just a organ farm. Really. All right.
lots of organ talk today.
Honestly. Annie, please come back soon.
I'll go ahead and second that. Annie, please come back soon. This has been X's and O's. We will take a short break and come back and finish the show out. I am Ryan Wiggins, filling in for Annie just for today. She'll be back on Monday.
Stomp your feet, start clapping. Got a real good feeling, something bad about to happen.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
But I got so nervous, had to back it on up. Couldn't make it to the service. Grabbed all the cash underneath my mattress. Got a real good feeling, something bad about to happen.
Need to sell your home, but not willing to play the wait and see game? Hey, it's Mark Cox here for Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. With Gloria, you have options, including a no obligation cash offer from one of Gloria Lou's cash buyers. It's simple, it's straightforward, and in many cases, you can receive a cash offer in less than 24 hours. And you can even pick the closing date. With Gloria Lou and her cash offer program, you're always in control. Not ready for a cash offer? No problem. Gloria has a guaranteed sold program that states Gloria will sell your home at the agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it guaranteed in writing. Call her today and ask about her no obligation cash offer program at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on price and possession date. If you've decided you want to lose a few pounds, my friends at Victory Men's Health can help. Go to victorymenshealth.com, find the location close to you, and tell them you're interested in semaglutide. This is fantastic. It's been approved by the FDA for overweight adults. Some people have lost 15% of their body weight. They've seen tremendous results with this medication. Again, go to victorymenshealth.com, victorymenshealth.com.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friend Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you strategies on how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Annie Fry Show. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Make sure you're heating your home safely this winter with a heating system check. And for all other heating services, repairs, or if you need a new heating or HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon means a Reardon Roundtable in the 3 o'clock hour. Comedian Joe Machi joins us at 5:25.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'll take you home if you don't leave me at the front door. Your body's cold, but girl, we're getting so warm. And I was thinking of ways that I could get inside.
The YouTube live poll for the day is who has the best poker face? Annie, Brad, Hannah, or myself, Ryan, filling in for Annie today. Although if you vote for Annie, she's going to know it because she is on the chat. She was just participating in X's and O's, which was kind of fun. So how do you even define that? We were talking about how to define the poll today because I thought that poker face would indicate that who's the best at lying to you without you knowing it. But you guys had a little bit different definition than that, which was something like Go ahead.
It's to me, you want your poker face to be as natural as your regular face. So you don't want to react or respond, give away any clues. So it would help in lying. That's how people would be able to tell you.
It's basically not reacting.
Yeah, it's being as natural as possible, no matter what the situation is. If you get a really bad hand and you're like, oh, this is the worst thing ever, you're gonna have to bluff your way out of it. So if you just are natural and normal, then nobody's gonna realize you got it. Or if you get a really good hand and you want to run the pot up, then you got to be actually like, you can't go, oh my gosh.
So stoic, basically.
Yeah. Usually,
because if you're not a stoic individual and you get all stoic when you're playing poker, then people are like, that's a tell.
Okay.
usually we advocate for ourselves in these polls and you want people to vote for you, but I'm just going to come out and say I have the worst poker face ever, so I should not win this poll.
Yeah, you got ahead of me a little bit on that one because I was going to do the same thing. I am not good. I wear my
guys. This totally undermines the entire poll.
I know. Well, you know what? We shouldn't have even said that because we were going to ask first, Trisha and Drew, what you guys' opinions of us and who would win this poll are before we revealed the vote.
Well,
so
I was going to say Hannah and then Ryan, but now you guys have admitted that you're terrible at it, so I'm going to say Annie.
But if they admit that they're terrible at it, then they can use that in their poker game to throw you off.
I'm going Annie.
Sorry.
Yeah, you've got it. You do an eyebrow furrow thing, Brad.
All the
Hannah
time.
would look like kind of like wide-eyed and a little scared, and Ryan wouldn't be able to help like seriously.
Giggling.
Yeah, the giggling. Anytime he like puts on a frown, he giggles.
Annie says poker face to me means having the ability to know things that you do not share with anyone else, especially when most would want to react.
Ooh,
And
like
she also-
withholding information.
Yeah, she also backs Trisha in your response.
Yeah.
Annie.
Yeah.
So for me, a poker face, like I've seen Ryan say some things, questionable things on
Probably
the
during
show,
the show.
doesn't react at all. Just goes straight with it. So I got to say Ryan.
Okay.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can kind of do that, although I laugh at myself a lot.
After.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
So if we're going like 10-second window of a poker face, that's all you.
You get 10 seconds.
No,
You
10
better
seconds.
hope that hand goes quick.
It's very true. My wife, she says she hates that about me, that even at home, I'll say something and then I'll laugh. And she's like, why do you laugh at your own jokes? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's because I don't even know what's coming out.
The correct answer is because they're funny.
No, that's not true. That's far from true.
My jokes are awful.
The answer is that a lot of times I say things, I'm like, hey, what was that? I don't know. So I have no filter. Are we ready for Annie? Are you okay? Hannah, that's a question mainly for you.
I'm ready. Somebody get that drum guy back.
Yeah, he's in the lobby.
There he is.
Okay, here we
Here he comes.
Here we go.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
All right, so I wrote this as Ryan, are you okay? Because I didn't realize how actively Annie was going to be participating. So I'm going to present it as Ryan, are you okay? But also we can obviously ask Annie.
Well, we'll
okay.
see. We can also just say whatever we want because if you're not in the chat, you don't know what she says.
Member of Congress reads AI-generated speech on House floor. U.S. Representative Jake Auchincloss decided to deliver a speech on a bill that would create a U.S.-Israel Artificial Intelligence Center, and he used ChatGPT to do it. The Massachusetts Democrat read the 2-paragraph speech on the floor of the U.S. House on Wednesday. His staff said they believe it's the first time an AI-written speech was read in Congress. Ryan and Annie, or Annie and Ryan, are you okay with AI-generated speeches on the House floor?
No, not at all. Not even jokingly. I hate this stuff. It scares me to death.
You're a writer, so this is very personal for you.
It scares me that when we've been tooling around with ChatGPT, just because everybody's kind of, dipping their toe in the water and see what it's all about, it really is good at that. And it can do humor. I mean, you can tell it, hey, write a speech for the House floor and also include a few knocks on Democrats in there or something, and it will do it. It is frightening.
Fast.
And it does it right away, too. You don't have to wait.
I've had to write 3 songs for my dog, and I'll just put, my dog loves walks and treats, and his name's Luther, and it writes the most beautiful music. It's written 3 separate songs for me.
Is it playing the song?
No.
Or
it's
just writing
the
lyrics? So it's a writing app mainly.
Yep. Well, I think you chat with it, but...
Wait. Are we going to pass over that? You said you had to write 3 songs for your dog?
I asked it to
It was
write
an assignment.
I ask it, the thing I love the most. I was like, write a song about this.
When you get into upper level management at this company, you have to write songs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For all pets, not just dogs.
Yeah.
Those department head meetings, that's what we do. We sit around and write dogs.
Who has a song for fish? Dirt.
That's why they take hours. Not anymore. Thanks, ChatGPT.
You know who I hope is not listening to this? Upper management. Who's the fill-in guy today? That guy's out of here. He can't expose our fish songs.
Get him out.
All right. You're not okay with it. Did Annie comment? Is she playing?
I didn't see.
Okay.
That AI stuff scares the poo out of her. So I'm sure that is her answer.
All right.
She is not okay with it.
Well, then lab-grown or cultivated meat is moving closer to being widely available in the U.S. U.S. regulators have already signed off on lab-grown chicken products, paving the way for California manufacturer Upside Foods to scale up. Its first products could be in restaurants later this year, with cultivated chicken eventually coming to retail stores. This cultivated meat comes from livestock cells that are grown in bioreactors. They ultimately form products that resemble and taste like meat. Ryan, are you okay with lab-grown meat?
Does it taste exactly like meat, or does it taste like soy kind of tastes like meat? Is it meat?
Ryan, are you okay with lab-grown meat?
Annie says no lab-grown meat. Eat animals. It's biblical. I think that's kind of funny. I am actually kind of okay with this. You know why? Because if it cheapens the price of meat, I am all for it right now.
But it's not meat. At the end of the day, it's not meat. It might be grown from the animal cells or whatever, but it's not meat. It's products from a lab, and you don't know what they're going to put in it, because if they put it in the regular food, they're going to put way more in stuff that they grow in the lab. I am not okay with this. I hate this with a passion.
Yeah, this angers me.
You guys are crazy. I'd eat some lab meat anytime.
You would, Ryan.
What about to solve world hunger? Like, if you use it for that.
Great point.
Dunked on you, Brad.
I'm not eating it.
I'm still not for it.
Brad's for world hunger.
They can have the stuff that I don't
clearly.
eat. And I'm for world hunger. We don't feed these people fake food.
It's not fake. It's made from real beef cells.
It's going to be too expensive for to end world
Beef
hunger. They just let
cells.
them eat rice.
Yeah, they're using real cow cells and chicken cells. And
Annie
they're
just commented every single meat emoji there was.
No, we're not eating giraffe.
I feel like Annie might be getting hungry.
Or cat. She put cat in there. We're not eating cats, Annie. I know that's what you're suggesting,
What
literally.
what emojis are you talking about? She did a chicken wing, a chicken, rooster, like a steak, a cow, and another cow.
No,
Giraffe.
I thought that
What
looked
are
like
you
a cat.
talking
I thought that
about?
last one was a cat. There's something with horns.
So
The answer is I don't know because we're a split ticket here.
Yeah, but are you okay
Are
with
you
it?
okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right. So, speaking of not real meat, White Castle is offering fine dining experiences for Valentine's Day.
They do this every year.
They took a 2-year hiatus. It's back. So, from 4 to 9 p.m. on February 14th, the participating White Castle's restaurants will transform their dining rooms into fine dining establishments with hostess seating, tableside service, and festive holiday decor. They'll be featuring a Love Castle menu with a collectible case, I guess, for your future sliders, and a Love Castle potion, which I think is just Sprite. You can make reservations at opentable.com. Ryan and everyone else, are you okay with White Castle identifying as fine dining for the day?
For one day, I think it's a blast. I love it.
I'm all in.
Yeah. I don't know if I would actually. The question is, would I actually take my wife there for a date, though?
That wasn't the question, no, but that is a different question.
That's a different question that should be addressed. The answer is no. Actually, I would attempt that, but there is no way she would do that. Absolutely no way.
You always say to set the bar low.
Yeah, that's right. But
fair
that's
point.
setting the bar kind of high for me.
Annie commented that she's never had White Castle.
What?
That's very interesting. I don't know that I'd recommend it, but I feel like as an American, you need to try White Castle.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you had White Castle, Drew?
I have, and for this, I would say I'm not okay with it because if you think about after, have you ever had White Castle?
Uh-huh.
And like, does it mess with your stomach
Oh,
after? Or is
all
that
the
just
time.
me?
Yeah,
So-
it's a measured question. Is this worth the back end of this?
Exactly.
No
Back
pun
end.
intended.
Back end.
Exactly.
Specifically today, Annie should not try that.
Or on Valentine's Day, should anybody?
There you go.
Point. Good
I just go for the sides.
The Love Castle turns out to be the restroom.
Ryan's just there for the crinkle cuts.
I think I'm split again because I think there's never a chance I would do this.
I don't
but
think you know how this
No, I don't.
Be 50-50.
I can see both sides of the issue, Trisha.
Okay, are
That's
you
how I'm
for
gonna answer
it
all
or
of them.
against it?
I'm for it.
Okay.
What happened to the Annie? Are you okay sounder? Okay, Annie.
Oh wait, wrong one.
Not that one.
Breaking news.
At least it feels like a Friday in
Yeah,
here.
it certainly does.
Okay, we're looking for this one. There we
That's
go.
it. Thank you.
All right.
It's a punctuation mark.
Lawsuit alleges certain Fireball shots are lacking whiskey. A woman in Chicago has filed a lawsuit claiming that miniature bottles of Fireball Cinnamon don't actually contain any whiskey. Instead, it's a malt beverage. The suit alleges the miniature bottles of Fireball Cinnamon are nearly identical to the miniature bottles of Fireball whiskey, causing confusion and unintended sobriety. I actually added that part. The company is actually accused of violating the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but they look exactly like giant bottles of Fireball, which do have whiskey. So I know I have a lot of friends that have been duped by this. Ryan, are you okay with this class action lawsuit?
Ooh, if they're advertising falsely, then yeah. I do not like false advertising. I don't like misleading advertising. And in fact, a lot of people get away with it and they shouldn't. And so I'm all for this.
All right.
And with that, Ryan would like to apologize for hosting this show because people thought they were going to get Annie and they got Ryan.
Yeah. If you tuned in today, we are part of a class action lawsuit against me. Annie says, I am for Fireball. And I would agree with that. Fireball is good and stuff.
Is she? Well,
I guess Hannah agrees as well.
There we go.
Fireball is great, but Hannah is somebody
is.
that consumes Fireball from time to time. I'm assuming, right? I
Yep,
don't want to.
the resident Fireball.
Okay.
Queen.
As our resident Fireball expert, those little bottles, if you found out, which you just now have, that those little bottles don't actually have any whiskey in them,
I would be upset.
is that it? Yeah. Drew?
So
How
I'll
do
say
you not
this.
under?
Go ahead.
So, what is in the little airplane bottles then? If it's not,
It's actually a malt liquor. So it's like a mix of, I think they said
Malt vinegar.
malt vinegar and wine.
I would
No,
really be upset.
it's
then.
some kind of mead and wine or something. I don't have the exact makeup, but there is no whiskey in it.
I would be upset.
So according to producer Ben James,
Mhm.
Fireball has some ingredients in it the same as like I think it was antifreeze. He said, "Look this up." This is according to him.
Good
So
and good for you.
I'm against Fireball in general after I turned like 23.
Mhm.
Was done with it. So I'm for this lawsuit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm for the lawsuit. Don't false advertise. Give me what I'm paying for.
These are a bunch of lawsuit crazy people.
Oh, yeah. We love litigation.
I mean, I am
We
from St. Clair
do.
County, so
There we go. Hannah, where's the
You
punctuation?
have that thing, Hannah.
Here we go.
All right.
Right on time.
Yeah, always.
And
time with this segment.
in the longest segment of our lives, 57% of adults would lie during a job interview to get a better paying job. A new survey commissioned by Standout CV found that 57% of adults would be willing to lie on a resume or job interview to secure a better paying job. The survey also revealed that 55% of us have already lied on a resume at least once in their lives, which, according to study finds, means up to 42.5 million people may have lied to get a new job in 2020 alone. Ryan, are you okay with lying to get a job?
Define lie.
Annie commented George Santos.
There you go. There you go.
He is one of them.
Case in point.
I feel like resumes are so polished versions of you that they're kind of lies even by their definition. So while I've never lied on a resume, it's like the best, it's like the Instagram version of your career. And I almost have to say that it's pretty common as long as it's not like a George Santos full-on lie that you'd almost expect that you're getting kind of the best version of everybody.
What if you say you went to college and have a degree and you don't, but you're qualified for the job? Like, you can knock this job out of the park. You know it. You're aces. You are the right guy for this job, but you're supposed to have a college degree. You don't. You lie about it.
Then no. You can't full out lie. You can't do that. So no, I'm opposed to it.
why do you keep looking at me?
Well, I didn't know if you.
I didn't lie about my college degree.
I'm like looking at the guy that lied.
All right. So I'll say this. On this application to get this job, I said I knew how to use Audition, and I was aware of like how Audition worked. I didn't know exactly how to use it. I know how to use it now. So
We really hope the higher ups
See?
aren't listening.
I'm the one that did his interview.
there you go.
Oh.
I mean, and it worked out. I'm here now. So
Right? Because he was, that's exactly what I mean, though.
Yeah.
You're familiar with it. You may
Yeah,
not be an
I know
expert
it's a
at it.
thing.
You've maybe used it once.
I hadn't used it at all.
Oh.
I hadn't used it one time.
That is great.
Somebody
Trisha
told me,
is
though-
FaceTiming herself.
Somebody told me though, like, say you know how to do something and then figure it out. And if you can't figure it out,
Fake it till you make
yeah,
it.
exactly.
All right, let's get to the YouTube poll results. Today's YouTube poll is asking which show member do you think would have the best poker face? Hannah, Brad, Annie, or Ryan? Brad wins the poll with a sweep of 54% of the people.
No kidding.
Said
I
that
got
you
a
would have the
majority.
best
Yeah, you
poker
did.
face. And I agree. You definitely have the best poker face out of all of us.
If
Annie,
you know that I'm using it though, is it really that good?
We
I
never
still
know.
think you have a little eyebrow tell, but
Annie comes in second place.
As she
with...
should. She should have
Oh,
won
no,
that
no,
poll.
no, 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 no. Ryan comes in second
What?
place.
What?
19%.
I am not, there's
Actually, whoa, these poll results are crazy. Okay, Brad 53%, Ryan 19%, myself with 15%, Annie with 13%.
Oh no,
Annie-
Annie's got the
Annie
best
has a
poker
dub.
face
That's
in
how
the
you
room.
know
Annie
because
doesn't
nobody
have a poker
suspects her to have a poker face. So that's how you know that she actually won the poll by having the lowest vote.
Wow. I don't know. That sounds like backwards logic to me. I guess you can still vote in the poll if you want to and try to change those results because they're false.
Thank
So
you.
check it out. Check it out on YouTube. What we're saying is you're all failures. Except for those who voted for Annie, who are correct. Thanks for letting me host today, guys, as if you had a choice. I am Ryan Wiggins. I think everything will be back to normal on Monday, and that virus that's sweeping through the Fry household will be all gone, and we'll be back to normal. So thanks for tuning in today. You can rewind on the Odyssey app if you want to hear anything you missed, and we will see you after the weekend.
Jams, kick up the soul, pour another glass of that rock and roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control.
Download Upside and start getting cash back wherever you roll. It's like having your own hype man. Get an average of 17% cash back at restaurants.
Oh, it's dinner time.
Average of 13% on groceries.
Get those groceries.
10 cents per gallon average cash back on gas.
It's go time.
Plus, cash back at participating convenience stores too.